welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Lady Ray. Thank you so much for subscribing for a total of 47 months. Holy cow! All those M's, yes, I did hear every single one of them. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome all. Happy Friday. We're gonna play some golf with friends. I have Tank here, Lady Rain, Michigan, Wiggles, and the lovely Momo here today. They're going to be joining me as we play some golf with friends. And I hope you have a happy Friday and enjoy, you know, whatever shenanigans we come up with tonight. So, love you all. Thank you again. Let's go. Let's get the team. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the stream. We are live. And there we go, Michigan right off the bat, trying to lick people in chat.
Why not?
55 stream streak. Oh my god.
I think I got like
55? Is that right?
I know, yeah. It is.
I swear it was just like 20 the other day. Dang. There you go. Is it a command? It needs to be a big command. Poke is not a command. Dang it.
I made it.
Oh no! I'm gonna bite somebody for that. There we go.
You're gonna bite somebody?
Yeah.
No.
Uh-huh.
I'm kidding.
I can't reach you. Or it would be, right? This minute.
Wait, is the password different?
No.
Oh.
Lowercase. Oh, it might be since she's played. I don't know. We'll just see.
I did lowercase.
It's lowercase with a, you know, a thing and a majig.
Put it in the chat. Yeah,
Yeah.
If someone could do that, yes.
Yeah. Grab my.
No, it changed. Yeah, it changed.
It's been a little bit, yeah.
I mean,
Wiggles!
it
All
was
the
still
wiggle
the first
in!
part.
Thank you, Wiggles!
He wanted to make sure you look like your part, what you're supposed to be.
I don't think I could do that. I don't know what he's doing there. Like, it's just, is it just one leg? He's only kicking out one leg.
Like he's kicking one leg.
Why isn't it letting me
He's
do
gonna have like a giant muscle in one leg and no muscle in the other leg.
No caps.
Yeah.
Just lowercase letters and numbers.
Yeah, she knows.
Yeah, I think because it turns that yellow stuff.
I have.
Yellow.
I have.
You just-
Snappy! Hell there, you're awesome. Hell there, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Snappy.
Where's Prince at?
Thank you,
I thought
thank
he
you,
was
thank
supposed
you,
to be
thank you.
here doing shenanigans with us.
Thank you for the hype train. I thought so too. You're gonna have to message him.
It's
Just like ping
saying
him. Go,
Entry timed
Prince,
out.
where are you at?
Oh.
Oh, that's
Password
not good.
entry timed out.
You might just have to go back to the main menu and go to friends and try it again.
Let's see. But Snappy, thank you so much for the
Made it.
17 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna get some hype in chat. Hype, hype, hype. Thank you
No one
guys for the
typed when I
subs.
did
Thank
it.
you for the hype train, guys. I have goodies. As you can see, I have some gummies, some Haribo Golden Bears, and some salt and vinegar Pringles. So,
Those
the
Pringles.
good stuff.
Fuck you, mosquito. I got you.
Thanks for the hype, Michigan.
Sorry.
Peter.
Wiggles, lick, you leveled up to level 2. Wiggles licked
Oh, what the
Pokemon community games. Nice. Did you get a shock out of that? Licking bots can, you know, be electrifying.
Electric.
Yeah. Oh, it's Boop. I don't have Poke, but I have
it's in
Boop.
a pack.
Boop.
That's cool.
There you go. I'm just gonna boop all the bots today. Alright, let's see how many time it takes to hug somebody. Turtle gets the hugs, he immediately gets the cookies. Cookies, add. Wow, 500 cookies. Welcome to the stream, Turtle. Sorry to call you out like that. Nee, Dash, welcome. Welcome to the stream. We're doing some golf with friends tonight. Momo has joined the golf game. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't see Shane yet. You know he's gonna pop in like the minute we start the game. Like that's how this works. Somebody joins and goes, "Can I play?" The second you hit start. So let's start. Let's hit start. And guess. Ay, ay, ay. Ladies burning people's booties. She got wiggles. And then she tried to scream, but it was too soon. Too soon, Lady Ray. Too soon.
Look, I forgot that the roar made a sound.
Hole in one.
We're not gonna
Damn,
talk about how
GG.
much not a bogey on that.
This is a warm-up round. Who's gonna win?
No!
Oh, so did I. Damn it, not a bogey.
Bogey.
That was clean.
I'll take par.
Normally I can at least get a par, but no, I fucked up.
Who else is glad it's Friday?
Me.
Oh, me. Thank
I have to work tomorrow.
Okay, I don't understand why he gave me 3. I only 2. I only hit it twice.
Sometimes I accidentally click in place.
Ah!
Problem.
And if you accidentally click in place, it counts as one.
No!
Discord just now told everybody else live, so guess what?
Yep.
That's Shane.
We got live.
Yeah.
He's gonna come in and go, "What? I heard my name." Like, yep, we're talking about you. Mhm, mhm. No!
No, no, you fucked that one up.
I know. I was going for a third hole in one as well, and I totally messed it up.
Aw.
Well, that's right.
no.
Last time I got like 6 consecutive hole-in-ones on this one. I remember that.
What the fuck?
No, no.
Come on, come on, come on, come on!
Jump, jump, jump. Oh.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
True.
Mm-hmm.
3, 3, 3. I'm half a double. Come by. Cheers.
There's
Hey,
it's here somewhere. Cheers. Strawberry lemonade.
Wiggles.
Yeah, I got raspberry apple cider.
All right.
Say it too hard.
I'm switching it up today. I'm drinking Seagram 7 and 7s today.
Nice.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'll be stuck on these simplies because I bought a whole case. So it'll take me the month to get rid of the case. Considering I usually only have them on Fridays. Usually.
Michigan, you almost knocked me away. Where I wasn't gonna
Oh,
get
shite!
one.
Oh no!
Way
Oh,
too
jeez,
fast.
Momo.
Arnold has all
The
the power.
wild Machamp appears if you're catching Pokemon
That
tonight.
was way too fast.
Yeah, you didn't
Go
need that
catch
much power.
Machamp. Already registered in the Pokédex?
You have to go.
Nope. I don't believe that, but okay.
I hate Machop.
Why?
I don't care for him either until I'm playing Pokemon Go. And he's great for battling, because he just like with all 4 arms. And you're like, oh, your speed is incredible, thank you.
That's about it. That's all the
Oh!
Everywhere,
Almost
did it.
Everywhere, all over the place.
But yeah, I'm like, he's all about the speed.
No, no.
Alright,
wait,
oh,
what?
thanks, Frank. Oh, never mind.
Aw.
I just 5-stroked that hole.
Rain, how did you
Right,
say
same.
that?
Why
Oh
did you
my
say that,
gosh.
lady?
I just saw that.
Lady.
She jumped from the edge of the cliff back into the thing.
Yeah, I did the same thing on my first hit.
Ghost these days.
All of a sudden it was like backwards, like
First bogey of the game. I am not disappointed, given what hole it was, though.
nah.
Wiggles.
It's not inside.
Makes sense.
Oh,
I wasted a stroke. Another bogey.
I don't remember how much heat to give this one. I always end up giving it too much. There we go. Just right. 2 1/4. Hole in one.
Oh no.
Oh, I forgot how to
That's
play this game.
absolutely what you get for hitting me.
It happened.
Mm-hmm.
I got karma.
Yeah, I'm not playing. I'm playing one of my worst.
Oh jeez, way overshot it.
That one's easier.
Yeah, this one's kind of like a little tappy tap to get a hole in one.
Alright.
Tappy tap and jump.
Wait, you guys got a hole in one?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you can tap
Damn.
and jump over that corner.
Yeah, I got sloppy.
In the wall.
I like doing a swish on that one. I wanna take my time. But I didn't.
No.
Back in.
Oh, too fast. Oh, no.
Oh no.
He's taking an airplane. You don't know where to get back again.
Live there.
Mm. Come on, get a hole in one.
Ah, okay, well, I should not do this anymore.
I'll reset you again.
Come on, get
jump,
on the.
jump,
Get
jump
on the.
down.
Yeah, you can do
Get
it.
on the. Yeah!
Jump,
There you go.
Good!
There you go.
Good! Good! Wait, wait!
No,
Wiggle
this
it!
counts. This counts. This counts. She's safe. This counts. She's safe.
Really?
Necessarily.
No, it doesn't. Oh, it does!
Yeah.
Sometimes it
Half
does,
of her
sometimes it
ball is-
doesn't.
Keep wiggling.
It has to be so close to the green for it to work.
Game sucks. I'm installing it.
You suck.
Yes, I do.
Let's see.
Oh, Michigan, you were almost close. You
Yeah,
almost hit
that's-
me.
Good.
Take a birdie.
Yeah.
Take a birdie. It's the best
Phew,
hit song on most people.
no! Come on, over!
Come on now, come on!
Jump,
Come on, jump, 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 jump!
Oh, dang it. So close. Oh, I tried. There we go.
Yes!
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on,
Come
come
on, jump, jump!
on. I should have tried jumping, but I did.
Let's see if anybody hits me.
Oh,
Let's see.
Or hits me away.
Yep, same. It was me. Oh, oh, oh.
Ew.
Yeah,
Come
Come
on, hole in one. No.
You're hitting hard.
Yeah, I do that.
What's on the cheap
Always.
door?
Ollie.
Sometimes I'm able to clear that gap entirely, though.
man, I am not with it today.
Come on, wiggle it.
Wiggle it.
Yes, 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 yes. Ooh, nice.
They are-
Yeah, for me, it looked like you were going out of bounds, but
Yeah,
you
it's
made
like
it.
You did like a e-brake and
Speed.
what? That's the first time I've ever done that.
There.
Where's everyone going?
The wrong way. Dang it.
Oh, yep, definitely the wrong way.
Ah! No, no. I'm back where we started.
Eagle.
I did do that on purpose.
I might have had an eagle, but I wasted a shot.
Why did you just send me a snap?
Because I did. Because I wanted to. That way all my staffs are set for this afternoon.
Yeah, you know, it's the same time as me too. It's like 5 years later. Oh,
4 days later. Holy
5
crap.
years.
35. Oh. I think that's what I had the entire.
Less. No, trust me, I am playing bad.
Let's see.
This is probably one of the
Come
worst.
on.
I'll take a hole in one after that. That was a lucky shot, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Rigged.
Rigged. Pew.
Game is rigged.
No.
Definitely one of my worst teams.
Boing, boing, boing.
Ah!
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Wait.
At least I got out of there before anyone else.
Albatross.
Yeah, I got to you.
Lucky you.
And go. Oh, who hit me? What?
Which one do I hit again?
R1.
Far right.
I swear my mouse just drove itself.
Oh, well. Oh, well.
Oh,
Nope.
yeah, it's a full yeet.
Yeah, everybody said you're always going too hard. So yeah, this time I didn't.
I didn't hit jump.
Full
Yeah,
yeet.
I didn't hit jump.
I didn't make it.
No, not no. You gotta aim for the center.
I did. For me, I was in
No, you're
center.
not.
For me, I was on center.
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
Welcome, Turtle. Burning the bots' booties.
Still gotta burn
I may
that.
have just
Look at
posted
that.
that
Oh my
twice.
god, idiot!
You get par.
I wanted to go like straight in and I wanted to jump into.
I did. Good job.
Nice.
Took a perfect time to go to that.
Trying
No?
to check all the things. And hi, Turtle. Welcome. When are you gonna join us for golf?
How much is it?
Mhm.
You're okay. Hadn't
Oh,
taken
okay.
my shot yet.
I got like full blast at the target on the right.
I did 3 on
Oh,
the
I
left
don't full
one.
eat it.
I do.
Oh, I go eat.
Mighty close that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't go down the hill. Okay, there you go. Eagle.
What is happening?
You got sinkholes at the top of the hill.
No.
I'm telling you though, guys, on that last hole before this one, my mouse just played for me. I didn't do it.
I've had that
That
happen.
was terrible.
That's cheating.
Certain
It
things
is.
to jump.
I was like, I know muscle memory's a thing, but my finger didn't move.
Yeah, it's called mouse memory.
Mouse memory. I know. I'm starting to get concerned. The bots are taking over.
I got a hole in one. This is the one you have to get a hole in one in because
Yeah.
weird things.
I messed
Oh,
it
I
up.
almost did it.
I didn't.
I totally.
I jumped over the other side too, like Momo.
What?
You can get a hole in one. This one,
I was
What
trying to
hooked
catch up
me?
to you, Momo.
I've had
It's
it
not
a
that
couple
hard to get a
times,
hole in
but
this
I
one,
missed-
but
I missed
Apparently it
the
is.
platform, so I got
Ooh.
pushed off to the side.
Mona touching my ball. Ooh.
Curl. Damn it. I should have curl. Now I'm starting to do good, but there's only one more hole. Story of my life.
Let's see. Mm. Ah, so close. I skimmed over the top. I made up for it.
Yep.
Go to the top of the V and just roll in. Where is Rosenthor? I missed him.
Pity.
I don't know. Those fuckers have just left us all alone.
Well, Thor was in
Oh,
detail
no.
a couple days ago, right?
Rip.
Yeah, but they abandoned
Hello there.
us. Oh, Slants.
No, stop, stop.
Hi, welcome back.
It seems like his name. I don't trust it. Who is
Oh, yeah, Spence. I don't know who Spence is. I know who Splints is, though.
I know who
I
it is.
didn't change the name.
Fuck.
Oh, I know.
Oh, he even sounds like.
How you doing, children?
Whoa.
Hello there.
No.
I saw you were
Mm.
close to the
You're
end of
slowly
a
making
round, so
progress.
yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Exactly. I'm slowly making progress to the side, right? Oh no, I'm going back
Oh,
now.
you're
Never
going
mind.
off.
I get
Opposite
my
way now.
workouts in. Every morning I do this, and then I get my workouts in. Ooh, perfect.
No.
Oh no.
Stop, 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 stop. Fuck's sake.
Wouldn't
No,
that
you
be
didn't
funny?
hit the
How's that one?
treadmill again.
Oh no!
Oh,
Yeah! Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Oh,
Fuck it.
you did.
Fuck you.
That's a great workout.
Well, why jump out when you could jump
Cause
in?
this.
Ooh.
Come on. Oh shit, I went too slow. I went too slow. Come on. Ah, oh, well, fuck it.
And of course, I missed out on the fun of forest, so now I'm gonna be real bad off.
No, this is our last game, too.
Oh, bye guys.
Our last game, actually.
No, not allowed.
No, not it's a. Oh,
You gotta play at least 5 holes or five courses.
5 holes.
Them's the
okay, well,
rules.
then.
No, 5 courses. That's the rules. 5 courses.
5 holes. Okay, got.
No. 5 courses.
Jump.
I'm playing with my life here. Wanna stop being clumsy and get in the hole? Hey,
Oh my
don't
God,
talk about
Dad.
my
How
friend
dare
like that. Wait, you want to talk about Momo? I'm
Did I
being
do?
silly.
Almost stop being
Turtle.
clumsy. Turtle.
Wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
I'm surprised you made it across.
Everybody wiggle, 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 wiggle,
Oh, yeah, I will.
No, you are.
Little Indiana Jones.
You're not allowed to get it in 3.
How dare you? Nobody
Oh,
has 69.
damn it, I did. I'm gonna get last. Alright. 2 seconds. I gotta go get a snacky. Be right back.
Do it. Okay.
Jackie.
Snack time. Nobody made it to 69.
Oh no,
Dang
I'm
it.
starting. I don't want to start
Nobody won.
Photoshop. Stop.
Ooh, I
Stop.
got a captain's hat.
We have a ducky.
Plenty of.
That's okay.
Yeah,
You got time.
we got plenty of time. We just ended. We have a 2-minute, 3-minute break.
Right?
Yee.
I got a ducky hat. I can customize, but I love my
An
ghoulish
ages since I
creature.
got you.
What the heck?
I'm always
Could be
so
a
happy to find
hot
out
air.
my color.
Headers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nobody knows my color.
Why
Mine's
is
just
it there
black.
aren't that many browns?
See, whatever, Russ. Oh, yeah.
No one likes
Be a
that.
balloon on top of a balloon on top of a balloon.
Customize. I got time to customize.
I
Yep.
have a black ball.
Gonna do it. Orange marble.
Oh, I've done a bunch of
Red marble.
Brown is like the only neutral that has
Fine.
color.
Invisible.
But hey,
Changed
I
my
want a
mind.
new hat.
My favorite color is blue.
I gotta be this balloon dog
Yeah,
riding a
that's simple.
balloon dog boat. That's what I'm gonna be.
Simpleton.
A wild
Please
Teddy
don't.
Ursa appeared. See if you hack it. If you don't have it, poke catch.
Baby, baby.
Because it's not gonna tell me
Oh,
whether
yeah,
I
like
have it
that.
or not.
I like that. That's good.
Beach.
Vince, are you naked?
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's how I want to say to everybody that doesn't have a camera.
Let's see.
The previous channel I was in didn't require.
Well, here, like I said, you signed a 2-year contract.
You gotta put your pants on.
I
Why
don't
are
have
you
pants
running?
on. I
I'm
don't
not
have
wearing
pants
pants.
Yeah,
That is
me
not a
neither.
requirement.
I'm not either. Yeah,
I'm wearing a dress, so therefore I'm not wearing pants.
I'm
Why
wearing
are you
shorts. So I'm not wearing pants.
I'm just naked.
I'm just naked. Hey, nobody can see us in chat. We're all probably naked right now, but we're just pretending that we're not.
No, they're not.
Camera
Trust
on
me.
your desk.
If they were naked, I would be blind and I wouldn't be able to see the game.
Oh, that's why you
Clothes
play
are so
well.
2010.
It is. Clothes are so caveman.
I disagree.
I want to be a caveman so I can just have no clothes.
Alright.
But
And then
you
see
want-
fire. Then I can see fire and be like, yes, fire.
Have fun getting hypothermia in winter.
It's nothing.
Splints is on a 5-stream streak.
Is it hyper or hypo.
Whoop, whoop.
Hyperthermia? Hypothermia?
Hypo, I think.
Hypothermia is winter, hyperthermia is summer.
I call it
I think
hype.
you're
Hyper
right.
is too hot, hypo is too cold.
Yeah, I think it is hypo.
I call it
That's
hype.
why I brought
Cheers.
it up.
I call it the hype. They call it.
Big
In
Grubby!
Michigan, we call it the hype. I don't know.
You got the hypey?
I
You're
got
gonna
the
die
hypey.
missing toes.
How goes it,
I
McRubby?
don't need toes.
Get your little dancing penguins shaking their booties.
I am
I
Welcome
mean,
to the
you can lose
stream.
your pinky toe, but you need your big
Welcome,
toe.
welcome.
No. If you have no
Hiya,
clothes,
hiya,
then
hiya.
good shoes and socks.
Hi.
Well, anyways, we're taking this too far, but mine was a joke. Horrible joke.
Here we go.
Bites.
Wasn't there a new map?
Are you in?
No.
It's about to happen.
Oh.
Are you?
Mode.
Am I what?
New mode?
There
What
is.
kind of mode?
It's called speed golf.
Is it
What?
Ala mode?
Has boost
Like this?
circles in it.
It's called what?
Speed.
This is all mode.
Speed golf.
It's on
Oh.
my screen.
Jeez.
God.
My wife made a
Speed
blueberry
golf?
cobbler
Golf?
with vanilla ice.
What the heck is that?
Yum.
No, this looks like your camera's blurring it out like we can't see it. It's like,
Max
looks like
shots
it's
per
some
round.
sort of dirty
Max
I don't know
time
why.
per round.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh my god.
So you can't see it,
Mm.
but there's cobbler underneath.
Cobbler?
That's vanilla ice cream.
I heard cobbler.
Puddles decided to stretch up and his
I
little
heard
claw
food.
touched my armpit. It was unpleasant.
Oh no.
I did not consent.
I'm doing good, thank you, Grubby. How are you today? Spawn position default, power up mode. Still flagging here, always on speed golf scoring. Time alloy, turbocharge enabled. So you
Oh, wow.
can't. Can you hit each other?
You have cat now.
Collision. Collision mode enabled. Team scoring.
I'm
Team
about to put
average.
it back on the floor though, because I did not invite this. Go on, down, down, down. Go on.
Gravity.
The what?
Default.
Oh, I'm good.
Ball shape
Okay.
default. Ball size default.
Wait, hold
Fly.
on. Did
But
I get
welcome,
kicked
Prince.
Yeah.
out? I think I
Oh,
got
wow.
kicked out.
Wait,
Yes, come back, Splints.
Hold on. What's
Baby, baby, come back.
you could blame it all on me.
We're gonna do haunted speed golf, whatever this is. We're gonna find out.
Apparently, I need to tell my
Oh,
Steam Deck that
I've
we're
played
like
this
family
before
and
Making
friends,
food?
and it should not kick me off.
Be aware.
Mmm.
This plays
have
on
food.
large courses like Volcano and
Pringles. And Harry Bows.
Those are the best.
I'm trying to ration myself by putting them on a plate, but it's not gonna happen. It's just gonna slow me down.
Go put them
Thank
in the
you.
kitchen and then you don't touch them.
Friends, thank you. Thank you for the follow.
You
Don't
should go
buy
put your
alcohol.
snacky
I thought you
stuff in
were
the fridge.
following me. New account.
it's like
New
trying
name?
to take a
Yeah.
sample from a cat.
I started over.
That's
It
right.
just
Waiting
wasn't
for
fun
the
for me
video.
anymore, you know, so I started over.
Hi, cool guy. Welcome to the stream. Welcome,
Hi.
welcome, welcome. We're about
Are
to
you
start
waiting for
some
people to
golf.
join?
No, we're ready.
Yeah, we're
I
waiting
think.
on
Well,
Splints.
we're waiting for Splints. Splints got kicked out.
It thought I was playing Oh Dear on my Steam Deck.
Oh,
Oh,
you're good? That's
dear.
good. Randall,
Oh dear.
welcome to the stream, Randall. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday evening, everyone. Welcome. No, Momo.
Fuck yeah.
Momo, Momo, you're
Splints
special.
is at that level.
What do you mean?
Hey, Will.
I know your drug levels.
Do you know my levels?
Yeah.
What?
Excuse me.
I know
And
my
out.
levels.
Well, he made it in.
Here I
Oh,
am.
there he is.
Momo, thank you for the
Rock me
Prime
like
sub.
a hurricane.
Thank you for 18 months. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Momo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Second
Got our
baby.
Second baby.
You got a second baby. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. What you gonna name it? What you gonna name it?
What I'm saying?
What's the baby's name? Let's see.
However, it should be like 20 months because you need a little bit of rest.
Let's call it Nomo.
No mo.
Well, once it pops
No
out,
mo.
To
you're
confuse
more
things.
fertile.
Hashtag no mo. Mono, Momo, Nomo. There we go.
No mo.
Prince, yes.
Oh.
Just like me, no
Ship.
mo.
Okay, who am I gonna ship with?
Mo.
Ship with Mr. Splints. So we have
No, no, no.
Mr. Hashtag Mr. I think.
Wait.
There you go. Or hashtag Kim Splints.
You wiggle.
I don't know. Wiggles. Thank you so much. Thank you for gifting a sub to Prince. Thank you for gifting. Was it 10 subs to my channel? Oh my gosh. Thank you. Get some more hype in chat. Where's my hype man?
I'm gonna give him
I
hype.
can't spell hype. I need a hype man.
Wiggles,
Hype
I'm
three.
gonna do things to you.
Alright.
You'll never regret.
Oh.
Yes.
He'll never regret.
Never regret. Alright, we're gonna hit start. Let's go. Let's roll.
See, that's
But yeah,
my hype.
happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the shenanigans. It's good to have you here.
Golly, I'm not good at this one.
On to golf. This is speed golf, so I don't know what the hell this is, by the way.
Have to go. It doesn't matter about the stroke, you just have to get in as fast as possible.
Okay.
It's totally
too
a
far.
Oh
red light.
shit, is that it?
Fuck, shit, puddles is in the way.
Come on,
Just
got him.
Me nervous wreck. I've never done speed golf.
Puddles, go!
Splints is definitely losing.
I thought it was in the other. I didn't realize it was this close. I thought it was further away.
Sounds to me like you're making excuses, sir.
Has anybody else played this game mode before?
Kimono gets
never
it in
played
the hole very quickly.
Also worth noting you're scored based on your time that it takes.
Hey,
Less time means.
I'm a pro. What can I say, Michigan? Oh no.
Why did you
No!
have to pick the
Wrong way.
Just go fast, guys. Don't think. Go.
Well, that's a problem. I'm going too fast and not thinking and messing up. Oh, thank you, whoever bumped me twice.
Me out.
I bumped and bumped. You guys are the best. I definitely was not first that time. Which is kind of fun because it makes it more chaotic. It makes everybody just make more mistakes. Look, Michigan's in the lead.
No, not anymore. What happened?
No.
This is the other.
Yeah, it goes by
Mm-hmm.
time and
No, I just keep hitting it. Hope it goes in. It's about going fast.
Oh! Wow, that was pretty. Whoever bumped me, thank you.
Ah, man. 12 seconds. My time is going down.
13.
I beat you by a rough.
I got in at 10.
How dare you?
I know, right?
Oh, now Kimono's the fastest. Alright, I'm trying to go fast.
yeah, but
I got my
human
running
That's
shoes
funny.
on.
consistency, and I'm very consistent.
30 seconds each.
Damn it.
Yeah, just
It's
get a hole.
true.
Almost got a hole in one.
What are these teleporter looking things? I don't even know, but I'm staying away from them.
10
They are
seconds.
speed boosts.
Oh.
You're already in?
What the hell? I didn't
What?
even shoot.
What?
Wait, did I go to the
Michigan!
wrong one? I did.
Did you get like a hole in one?
It sent
I
me
almost
back to the
it
beginning
bounced-
because
it bounced
I
off
didn't even
the
shoot.
hole, kinda, yeah.
What
So
the
you know
fuck?
did you know a
Somebody
shortcut?
sent me back to the beginning.
No,
What
I
the
hit, and I hit all the chairs, and then I ended up there. That's
Oh. That portal do that to you, Splits?
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
you
I
get
got hit
portals.
by somebody else and it sent me back to the beginning.
It bumped you too.
Excuse me.
Damn.
It's
Dog.
a speed boost. It's like a booster.
The dog
on
doing?
top of the
Damn.
track.
I'm
Yeah, I
very
got-
consistent.
Whoa, wait a minute. Why didn't say I get a
7777.
Oh god. Oh, I used a stroke just like
Oh shite! What the fuck?
doing nothing.
I always think this.
Some of them will launch you upward too.
Yeah. That's like great right there. We need that 24/7 right there.
Fuck off.
Just say.
I messed up.
Oh my god.
The fireplace made
I am
me
so lost.
relax and, make it
Relax.
Don't do it.
Get down to it.
Oh no, Wiggles, where are you going?
I'm glad I'm not
I
the
have
only
no
one who
fucking
knows
clue.
that song.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for the follow, cool guy, and welcome again to the stream. I'm glad you were able to catch the stream.
That is not what she said.
Or is it?
Okay, okay, that was funny.
Everybody likes the Wiggles.
Wiggle is taking his time. The fireplace makes you slower, I think.
Listen here, jerkies. I'm trying to eat my cobbler.
I'm jelly.
Hope you don't have ice cream too.
It does.
Don't worry.
does.
A hole in
Oh.
one, or not a
Well,
hole
see, he
in
has
one.
to eat it fast, or it'll go bad. You know, it'll melt. What?
Try to take a
What?
shortcut.
What?
Wee.
Right?
Yeah,
I know, I ended up hitting the tombstone.
I did too.
I
It all
got
kinds of stuff.
I'm trying to get all fancy, trying to get just get
Yeah, I was trying to use the. I'm trying to use the things,
Yes.
the
first one in.
speed things, to
Damn
get
it.
like a hole in one. The speed things are awesome.
right.
I do like this because I just feel like that I'm getting worse.
You're all gonna be worse on this course trying to hurry.
Trap, though.
We've never tried to hurry before.
I need some Gatorade. I'm just kidding.
Give the boy some Gatorade. You heard him?
Why is this a
I
thing?
just ordered Sonic.
Hopefully not the yellow one.
Oh my god, I'm never gonna be a skinny man.
That's okay.
It's
You're
too hard to be
married, don't
skinny.
He's
worry about
overrated.
Oh, it's so delicious.
It is. I mean, like, you literally can't eat anything.
You are married and happy. You don't need to do.
I'm just like,
Some sketchy shit.
don't touch me, Ghosty.
Yeah, same.
How did you do that, Wiggles? You avoided that ghost like the plague.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
He did. He totally wiggled.
Oh,
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Go through the cabinet.
You have to hit it on
Good
the
job,
back
good job.
wise. And
I'm glad we did this on one that we
You
don't
need to
all
jump
know
twice
so well because
to get out.
Yeah.
It would have been silly.
I
if we
don't
did it
know
on
this
course.
very well.
I
to be
couldn't
honest.
do Candyland as the first one again because that's the game that Splints always joins first is Candyland. So I had to switch it up,
Fastest time right now.
and it's his least favorite.
Sunken.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, well, that helps a little
I
bit.
didn't even make it to the fucking
That didn't work.
I went to the
reset.
other hole because this hole sucks.
I did too.
Oh my god, I went right beyond it.
I don't know.
Right beyond.
Oh, what the
Just
fuck?
disappointed.
I don't know a trick to this one, so I'm just gonna have to like,
I don't either.
take my time
You
and
go
do
over the
this.
coffin stack.
Yeah.
Well, somehow I stayed in it this time. Nice.
I don't know. I skipped the hole. Dang it.
I don't know.
Your little wings are so cute.
I'm averaging 30 seconds.
I like your
beat.
beat. No! Jumped in and out of the hole at the same time. I bounced off whoever's in the hole.
Jump work.
I don't know. I just bounced out.
Fucking hole. It got in the way. What happened?
Wow. I didn't even know where it was. Hold on. So this one is not.
Poke catch if you're playing Pokemon.
Yeah, you would have to go where that eyeball
Catch
is
the happening.
on top. of it.
Exclamation poke start if you want to play Pokemon community games and never have.
Oh wow, I'm still in last.
Mm-hmm. You got 2 hole-in-ones.
And
Or
then you can
first-
see which ones you catch down in the channel. Below my video feed, there's a box for Pokemon community games to see what you catch. Pyong.
I don't know how that happened.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Under the stairs.
I hit the hole.
Magic.
This is gonna be fun. Oh wow, where does this one take you? Off the back
Wayne,
wall?
what are you doing with me?
I'm following the thing. Oh, it goes all the way around the ring? Ugh.
What the fuck?
I hit it too hard. Come on.
I didn't know you could go around the ring.
Yeah.
I've never gone this way.
How did
No,
I?
neither have I.
I've only ever gone the cheat way.
Oh, damn it, Bobby.
It seems like it still
Alright.
takes like almost a full thingamajig to get across.
No!
I hate this whole thing. I was doing so well. I got here.
What? It keeps bouncing me out of the holes even though I'm clearly in.
Honestly, I'm not the master of this whole.
What was the time
I feel like I've lost the
left
lead.
of the skeleton?
I'm sucking at this.
I feel like I'm not in the lead anymore.
God.
Get it up. I suck at this one.
It's literally like a full yeet. Once.
It's not.
It's not a fully because
It
when I
wasn't?
do I fall out.
It was for me. Maybe it's, like,
I always
almost?
go
Where you were at.
constantly. I didn't. I was.
Hmm.
I was in first place in this.
3.5,
That's-
maybe 3
that
bars at
sucked.
least.
No, Michigan! A little bit less of whatever you just did, Michigan. A little bit less.
Had I known we were racing for time, it would have been
Oh no.
What is that?
30 seconds left.
Oh.
But I'm just kidding.
2.5 minutes.
It changed the music and everything.
Yep, what was that?
Pressure's real. It's now or ever. Get your ball in gear. The time is limited. Hurry! 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, too bad that wasn't a
would've been, like,
swoosh.
straight in.
That would have been great. A swoosh, I would have screamed.
I was taking my
I would have
time.
screamed.
Okay,
I would have been like,
Oh,
did not
not
finish.
finish.
DNF.
I did not.
This is not golf.
DNF,
This is
man.
not golf.
At least it doesn't do that like 17 points for not finishing.
Mm-hmm.
I did not finish those. Everybody else finished.
Oh, jeez.
Ah.
I tried to jump over. Oh, I got hit. And now I have to go around.
I'm
Fuck.
on
Momo, you're at
I hit you.
Momo is taking up all my time.
I did a block. I did a block mono.
She did. She blocked me and took all my time away.
I can make up time now. 22 seconds.
Nice. I got just over 12.
Oh
Hi, Shane.
But y'all-
Welcome, Shane. Thank you for the lurk. Welcome to the stream.
I know.
We're playing speed golf.
It was an accident.
So the shenanigans are in full force.
Whee!
I hope you're doing well. I hope everything went okay for you today. And thank you for liking. Thank you for being here. We're the moose! Actually, no. Hit the books. Hit the books!
I was gonna say, to the bookmark.
Oh, don't hit the books that hard, though. Dang it.
That's what she
Yeah,
said.
baby.
No, that's what your teacher said. Don't hit the books out.
You said the bookmark. I didn't hit the bookmark.
Yeah.
Mm.
You gotta hit it with
I
the full
didn't
hit.
I don't know where.
So the bookmark.
Dick.
It's a floating one on the
Plus,
stand.
if you weren't going as fast, it
Oh,
would have
well.
been fine. We would have both made it.
That's what she said.
Both would have gone
What the
on.
fuck?
Get it, Momo. Get it. I don't know what it does. Get it.
Gotten in the hole.
Should be a hole in one. Dang it. Almost.
Dude, I love that pin on that.
There we go.
Fox's head.
Yeah,
The
you should
wobbly
have
chicken.
Wiggles. You should have that because it identifies.
The wiggly.
I
Yeah.
don't know
The
how
wiggly
fast I
chicken.
got that shit. I'm still in last.
I'm second. Kimono is very.
No.
Just,
No.
This is where it gets difficult.
And I'm usually not good at competitive things, so.
Oh, no. No.
How did I?
No.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm uninstalled.
Nice.
Admit, I have to
Look
leave.
at us, girls.
Center.
We're doing it.
Go, girls.
Go
Go,
for it.
girls. Go, girls. Cheers, everyone.
The boys are trying to be just cool.
Ah,
Ah!
no! Are you kidding me? 3 times
Under
in a row.
pressure.
The flag, though. I Oh.
I don't really know another way to do this, so please don't judge.
I'm not judging you.
So much better.
I'm gonna.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm
You should
gonna,
go through the
I'm
middle
gonna
like
call
you
your
are,
therapist
but
about
go through
this.
the middle.
That's cool though.
Just go straight through it, I think. You don't need to angle it.
Therapist.
That's
you go
cool
to
though.
middles?
I've never seen anybody do that.
I know. I've never done
That is really cool. I didn't know that was there.
Me
All
either.
you
Yeah.
have to do is go
Slightly
through
to
the
the left.
mouth. Oh.
I'm gonna
How
do
does
it.
that not
I'm
work?
gonna do it.
Ramp.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it. Do
Show
it.
us.
Do it. Do it.
Take 2 seconds.
Teach us all the things.
Oh, so close.
Got it.
Oh, that was closer.
Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it figured out.
Cheers.
What? Sorry.
Woo!
Damn, son.
He done figured it out.
I smelled that one. Just kidding.
Me too.
It was that bad.
It was. I had sushi.
Oh, dude. I'm
Ooh.
feeling sick. I'm gonna have to go lay down.
Smells like salmon and tuna.
Wait. Can you hear it?
No.
Can you smell it?
Woo!
It's very pungent.
This is why I live in my own state by myself.
Come on. It's so close.
But yet so far away.
That's what he said.
I like the music when the time's up. I don't know if Chad can hear it though.
Oh!
Oh, not the wall.
Wiggles, you're doing what I did. Do not wiggle.
Do not jump.
Wiggles, I did not finish either, so let's just skip that.
It's alright. It's alright. It happens. It happens.
I'm still in
Happens to the
last
best of us.
place.
Still leading, but I
Mhm.
finished.
No, trust me, I did not.
Oh, I hate this one.
I don't know this one, but I'm assuming just.
This one hates me.
Whoops. My brain don't like it.
I am not quite sure what just happened.
Yo.
Oh! Nice.
I just count my lucky stars on this one because I never play that course that good. Ever.
I went too hard.
I tried so far.
Okay, Puddles, you cannot do that.
Doesn't even matter.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, what the fuck did I do?
I don't know, but your rainbow trail's cool.
Yeah, thanks. What is this?
Go through the jumpy thing. Do it!
Behind you.
Oh,
It's
woo!
so much easier.
You should have did the gate!
That's what happened.
Okay, good luck, Spence.
They'll chuck you over.
Tex! Welcome to the stream, Tex! We are live!
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Playing some golf! Welcome, welcome.
The speed mode's kind of fun.
Michigan, you're right by the hole. You're being interrupted by a cat.
Oh, Lucky. Little baby.
Lucky said, I'm gonna interrupt your game.
No.
Mama was saying we need a burp command.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, I
I've
almost
never...
did it!
No! Oh, I've never done that before, but that was fun.
I don't know.
I'm gonna try it again, just because I've never done that before. So I'm guessing you go full speed straight down the middle?
You can, but it's
Yeah,
not
but you have to
advisable.
be.
It's not foolproof.
Yeah.
It's
You have
too
to be lucky
too
enough
many
to get
eats.
the call.
I did too many eats, but I saved it.
I'm hitting the cauldron alright. I'm just not getting on the course.
Yeah, it was like I should have been fully eating it or something.
I want a drink. Can I have a drink? Can I have a drink? I want a drink.
2 hits is better than several more.
I still did okay considering I wasn't here at the
Hey,
start.
that was the first one. Oh, Splints, you can't play anymore.
Oh, why?
You have 69.
Hit the baby.
He's gonna get more,
whoops.
even if he doesn't.
Oh, wait, I went
course.
straight back.
What?
Oh, dang it. I'm not paying attention.
GG. Right behind you.
So what's with the creepy baby? The body.
Baby
lifting
head.
The baby.
going on with this.
Baby head. No.
I did not
Up the
know
sofa.
What the hell? I was supposed to be in there.
I'm under the couch.
Nice vampire.
You
I'm
aim
under
for
the
that empty
couch.
jar at the back. It should help.
Pure
It's just been
no.
on the shelf.
No. That's not really where I wanted to go, but it worked.
It did.
Pew. It's probably my slowest time yet.
Nope.
Oh, no, you're on the couch.
You can reset
Mhm.
and try again, but that's the way to do it.
The sofa is much more comfier if you sit on it versus below it. Just saying.
There you go.
Well, some of us are floor people.
Listen here, smarty pants.
Some of us enjoy sitting on the floor more than on the couch. Okay.
I do, for sure.
I
Can't
am
say
definitely a
anything.
floor person.
It hurts me, bum.
Which bone?
The funny bone.
I would have said my hips, but okay.
What good is you, though?
My couch is not comfy, to be fair.
I was about to say that.
Bounce, bounce in.
Definitely not a very humorous joke.
Don't make me show my weenus.
Oh, Wiggles is winning. 69.
Why is there a wall in front of it? There it
Oh,
goes.
fuck.
The wall
It's a
was
book.
not there before.
Everybody did it. Everybody did it. It's like, why is there a lawn?
I waited. I waited for the wall to go up, and then I went.
It
No,
did not
I
help
did
me
too.
at all, by the way.
Ace
I
wins.
ended up back at the start.
Little subs. I was in
Because you hit the wall.
Okay.
Oop.
I don't know.
Mrs. Like,
Oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
But I was in there.
Nice.
Ah,
Mm.
too many books. I wonder why this is called the.
Hey, was I first?
It's a haunted library.
I love the little blue things, though. The little
No, that was
speed,
second.
speed things.
Don't joke.
Giggity woo.
Anyways, Tex, I hate your hat. Your hat is horrible.
What, pinata?
No, Texas hat is one of the worst hats ever made. You
Why?
should-
Pop my shirt up.
Dang, really?
No, the shirt's good. The shirt's good.
Morgan.
Oh, Mona was first. Hey, we both have 69.
Well, it's a hockey.
A wild sparrow appeared. It was catch the
Do you know why it's
sparrow.
lucky thing? Because when you get 18 to
Are you
board, it
kidding
looks
me?
on down, it still says 69.
Well, catch it for your job. Catching Pokemons.
I'm just saying this hat is an NHL team.
Whoa, what did I hit?
Me.
Everybody says me.
Their fans trying to fight you.
Hello.
Damn it!
Yeah.
How dare
Trying to go down the hole. Go down. Go down. Damn.
Where am I?
Damn it, too hard.
See that? I helped you.
Mm-hmm.
Not you.
I'm going the wrong way
I
again.
helped Tank. I helped Tank. I got him.
Hey, Wiggles.
Not you.
Hang out. I'll hang out.
Come on, Splits, get in there.
I'm almost
Yeah.
here.
Well, strong.
Dude, that was a weird one. It was like, oh, I'm on it, but I'm not in it.
Yeah, I'm like all over the place.
Like a good
Okay, a new worst haul.
Ooh, yes.
It's one of those like 90s wiggle worm thingies.
Mm.
They made them
You're
into
a
cat
wiggle
toys.
worm thingy.
It's like I got a fish. I got a fish. I don't know
Yeah.
why it wasn't in water. I got
It's
it.
not attached to the teaser. It's one of those like cat teaser toys that came with
Yes.
extras. And I just gave
Cat
them one.
toys.
I have the purple one hanging in my car. Because obviously I have the purple one.
No!
Oh, damn it, Morgan.
No! I'm hitting people, and then I'm bouncing all over the place, and then I'm
Does
going
anyone
down.
else notice the weird ass eyes on the tree?
No.
What?
Oh my god, those weren't there before?
Hello.
Ah, fuck.
Oh yeah.
Those were not there before, I swear.
No, they were not.
I think we're just not noticing it.
I don't remember the orange chandelier being like that before either above.
I don't remember all the vines.
Amanda.
What?
Oh,
We don't
I'm just-
use legal names around here, sir.
I'm
Ow.
just in my own world. Okay, thank you.
I said Amanda Bynes. I said Amanda Bynes.
I mean, that's fair.
Man's a fine.
What did he say?
Hi,
Well,
kids.
that's
What are you doing? Ah.
My toe done hurts.
Or they could-
Hey, I'm
Hello,
out of
children.
last.
I have my window open, so they're all three like lined up in the window, looking out the window.
Hello.
Aw.
Wow, blue marble. That's a
Alright.
Hey, I didn't finish last. Wiggles, what happened?
I gotta get good, you know what I mean? Know what I'm saying?
Alright.
good.
Speed golf much better on Volcano.
I mean, if we want to do, no, speed golf on one that we're familiar with would be
Like
more
forest?
interesting. Yeah,
Like, we could do a
exactly.
practice run
Okay.
in the forest again.
Okay,
Would
we'll
love
do
it.
that.
Forest speed.
Speed forest.
Oh, everybody's
Speed
gonna be
forest.
knocking each other off the board. I can
That's
just
some
see this
speed
already.
golf,
Yep.
please.
Well, we can turn off ball knock.
Collision?
I wanna
We
knock-
could.
Why would we
wanna
do
knock
that?
No, no, no.
They keep collision.
It should be full contact.
If I hit your ball, sorry, man.
Isn't there a mode where you get like special attacks and stuff, or is that only?
It's fine.
Mm.
We find those in
My ball just shoots.
That sounds fun.
We're spinning, spinning.
Randomizers are no fun.
What happened?
Oh, come on.
Well, that's what-
My mouse. I had that.
We are way better at this one.
My mouse.
No.
And my mouse wasn't even on the screen, so I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Welcome to the club.
Where's
Where'd my mouse go?
Welcome to the Mickey Mouse Club.
Should have had a hole in one on that. I fucked up.
Yeah.
Dang it.
No.
In 4 seconds.
I got a hold of one in
Like 195.
Oh,
you're bragging now.
Yup. I didn't get a hole in one. Sad.
But now, we're doing like this new speed round thing. Like at the speed mode. And so you get 4 points. Or like
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many strokes you do.
Sweet dreams.
So fast, right? You leaving? You can't leave. You're in the middle of the game.
I'm not
I'm so
leaving. I'm not leaving.
confused.
I was saying that to someone else.
Oh.
What the hell did I just do?
Them doggies rolling. Come on, jump, 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 jump.
Do you think I not know how it works?
Use your mouse. Use your.
Dude,
Use your
2.33
fucking
seconds,
mouse.
that's insanity.
No, I don't want to. I'm gonna use my key.
To use your space.
Oh wow.
Oh. Silent.
Damn, this is.
No! I hit the wall.
Heavy bleed.
Now Tank's in the way and I can't go.
I almost got a hold on.
Oh, and now I gotta wait for the board. Oh my god, that was so difficult now.
Went to the other course. Whoops.
That was not the hole you're supposed to play.
That's what he said.
Still in last. I'm still in
I'm
last.
on a higher time.
I just need to win.
Pew.
Let's
Of course.
Ay, ay, ay.
Second, Wiggles is already done reading a book.
What it is I jumped out of the chorus and then hopped back in.
Have yet to see any gates.
Hey, you're 696.
Wiggles is in the lead. Go Wiggles.
Oh god.
Rocks.
Do what
Can you believe I still haven't played this game? Oh my gosh, you should. We're doing a speed run right now. Like, not necessarily a speed run, but
Oh, what the fuck?
it's like who's the
Would've got one too,
fastest
but-
to the whole game.
Hate this fucking.
Hi, Rox. Hope you're doing awesome. It's good to see you.
Oh, come on.
Yo, hey.
Hey, where's my boss? Oh, that's right. It wasn't a raid.
Are you kidding me?
I was like, it's supposed to auto SO people, but I forgot.
Fuck's
That's not
sake.
the case.
I got
I'm
it,
so
I got it.
confused. There we
I
go.
got it,
Oh, oh my god, what happened?
That
Did it triple? Like, I don't know what it did.
You know what's messed up is that normally I get holes in one.
Whoa, right? You're special, Rox. You're special. That's what it is.
I don't do the thingy.
Oi.
You're
You wanna do the
special.
thing with the ting.
Or as Momo likes, you're special. Right, Momo?
You're so very special.
I'm averaging 9 seconds.
No.
Damn it.
Watch out. Yeah, I don't even know. I guess I have a couple bots doing shoutouts now. Is part of it.
Lady doesn't know how to get in a hole.
Whoops.
You know what? Shut your face.
She's dirty hole.
Bzz, bzz, bzz.
Oh, shit, son.
She's busy doing shoutouts. Oh my gosh.
I'm still last. Fuck you.
Wiggles is still in the lead.
No, that means you last.
Come on, guys.
You're last.
Who's gonna get a swoosh?
Oh, what the fuck
Swish
did I
it.
do?
You took more shots.
Oh,
you could've
overdid it.
Yeah, bitches.
I
I
got
couldn't
in
sw-
Less than 3 seconds.
Ah, I tried to swish. I failed the swish.
I did too.
I got in 3, but
Less than 3.
Splints was the fastest.
again.
Quick draw Splints.
You have to jump.
Pew.
Okay, I'm
Ah,
my screens. What?
hit?
I hit somebody.
I hit all the peoples.
Everyone went at the same time.
Yeah, and we just like different speeds make you hit each other.
Everybody was
Yeah.
watching.
I touched. It was a good time.
Every time we
I like the idea of a game of mini golf where the fastest wins, right? It's pretty cool. We've never done this before, so this is fun.
It is.
Doesn't matter how many times you have to hit the ball, it's who gets there fastest.
It's about who gets there the fastest. It's actually more dirty than the original.
Ah!
That was so funny that people.
Oh.
Denied by a spin.
Nice
Rafu
one.
just finished dinner. Gonna go feed the toddler. Okay. Good luck. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for lurking. Rox, it's so good to see you. Have a good dinner.
Look at them little Rocky Roads.
I know. I love them. I hope he makes his stickers available again. I want a sticker, Rox. Rain has stickers, and I see them all the time. And I was like, I want a Rox sticker. I know. There she goes, showing him off again. Mhm.
A couple of yours on here too.
Right?
And a couple of them on here. Nice.
The last time he streamed, I went and seen if the sticker redemption was still an option, and it wasn't.
No.
I only have like 100 billion watch minutes on their, channel points or whatever. It's like over 100,000.
Oh, come on! No.
All the sound effects.
I got 8 seconds. Just above
I
you.
just got last in that one. I just fucked it all up.
Wasn't quick enough on the start.
Mono's catching up.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't hit the power thingies. I didn't hit all of them. I tried.
I didn't even bother.
I'm punching the bowls.
Oh,
hit
crap.
me?
You gave me a black eye.
Not me, I was first in.
Stop bragging.
That's what.
Ready? Dun, dun, dun. I'm gonna hear that noise in my sleep now. Is that what I was
Holy
been doing
shit.
wrong?
My god.
No! I hit the
They got
thingy
it.
wrong!
Into the gate.
What? I went in and out.
You shake it all about.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be saying that.
I'm gonna say,
Do
was
the
it
hookah-bucky and you turn it on the real.
Now laugh because of it.
Yeah, you shouldn't be saying that. This is a very.
Ready? Set.
Oh, what? the
Target!
sweet.
What the hell?
Whoa, I've never had that happen in midair.
Me either.
I'm guessing there's a jumpy thing in the midair. There's a gate in the air.
Scared the living shit out of me is what happened.
Yeah, that's cool though. I didn't realize there was a gate out there.
In front of me. It looked like you were
That
merging.
actually kind of helped us not be in the corner altogether.
What? That was the best part of this whole.
I know.
Ending up in the
For real,
corner.
what?
Yeah.
Because I can talk to you guys friendly.
What? Alright, ready, set, target, go!
Ah!
Like Halo golf, where you have to go to the.
Oh, I fucked that one up. Damn it, Bobby.
Same.
That's a whole.
Did you say damn it, Bobby?
Yes.
He's very good.
Oh, what the fuck?
Who's trying to put me down the hole? I don't want to go in the hole.
Me.
That's the
I
wrong
think it
hole.
was me.
Momo?
Like 25 seconds, thank you.
That's not the hole I wanted.
Keep jumping.
Oh, no.
Chris Cox want to make you jump.
Not the hole I wanted. I wanted this one.
Daddy Mac will make you.
Jump.
A wild baby. Baby? However you say that. We'll catch.
My peanut.
What?
Back. My
My
neck
peanut.
In
Quack, quack,
Rack.
in my toothbrush.
Good job.
Are you wrapping yourself?
Oh, my.
Don't trigger me.
I hate that this is time.
You're special.
I know.
You're so very special.
I got a hole in one. I got a hole in one. I got a hole in one.
Too, so.
Good job.
You got a hole in
Oh, that
one,
means
but
you're
I got
behind me,
there
babe.
first. You might have got a hole in one, but I got there first.
You want a fucking cookie or something?
We're not gonna talk
You
about
wanna
Yes, I do.
This would be the channel.
Cookies would be good right now.
You have some?
Cookie, give me cookies.
You have some?
I like cookies.
That's one sweet I do like is cookies. I don't like sweets.
Oh, I don't like this one.
Poketch, Poketch. You want the flowery Pokemon, the one with the red flower versus the yellow or the white? Yes.
Hey,
Oh,
this is
horse shit.
weird.
I can never get the red one and go. I always get the white one and the yellow one.
That's actually the fastest.
Ooh,
I
I got it. Tex.
Oh, yeah, I fucked it up.
Oh, doing that.
Oh no, I hit it too lightly.
You tried. Next time. 15 minutes.
Oh no, not the opposite
Or
side.
13.
Wiggles.
Oh, nice. I go, no.
Oh my
That's
god.
the best rim job I've ever seen.
Wow. Wow.
Wiggles, you're not supposed to wiggle out of the hole.
I know.
We're supposed to go
How you
in.
do it? Oh, I thought that's how you did it. My bad.
And now I'm back in last place. Fuck you all.
No.
Yeah. Oh, what the fuck?
Excuse me. Somebody hit me off the course.
Not me.
Might have been me.
Everybody
There's
split
no
off in front of
HR.
me.
No!
I was like, whoa.
No,
There's
there.
no HR.
Again.
No HR.
Oh my crits.
No, don't do it, don't do
What's going on? I've never had this much trouble on this course.
it.
I'll have you talk to your doctor.
Have you seen
I
my
love that it
phone?
tells you your like overall total time too.
Yeah.
Oh, get ready to jump. Jump, Splits.
You're gonna
Jump.
Get, you're gonna get knocked.
Jump, Splits. There you go.
Lynn's got all the wood.
Woo.
Made it. Or
Mhm.
not.
Oh no.
You got too cocky.
I didn't get cocky. I just said, fuck off.
Ah, dang it.
Bounce two away.
I
Michigan
led
beat me on
almost
that
the
one.
whole entire game. Okay.
I need to
Purple
See?
life raft.
All right,
Yeah,
take a
go to the
break.
bathroom again.
Stretch.
I need to go
Find
take
your
my anxiety
brains.
medication, for the love of God.
Do y'all want to
Take
do y'all need to take 5 from speed golf, or y'all want another round of speed golf after break?
Oh, we
No, I'm
definitely
gonna have
need
to go
more.
see my
need a bigger
therapist.
course.
More?
I'll do
Okay.
that.
All right, we'll take a break
Take a
though.
30.
Take a break. Yes. No, not 30. You got 5 minutes.
No, my therapist lives right
5
over the
minutes. Go.
5 minutes.
Quick
Only 5
session.
minutes.
No
I
pooping.
need a bio break. Be right back.
No pooping.
Yes. No pooping. Get you a drink,
feel it.
refill, and come back
I
with
might try
cookies.
some chicken, if that's okay.
I have some toast sticks.
Oh, I'm so stuffed.
Tempura chicken.
I feel like with this computer.
Oh wait, those are chicken fingers. What, the tempura? Darn it.
So, my wife and I went and got burgers last night, before, pool. And, it's a restaurant that we've never been to. And they do thin cut, beer battered fries. And they were the crunchiest, most delicious fries I have ever had. They were amazing. And they were like, you could tell they used like big ass potatoes too, because all the fries were like
Really long.
really long. Oh my god, they were
Yeah.
so good.
I
Big
love
rough.
shoestring.
And the burgers were freaking incredible. Like,
Heck yeah.
are so good.
You're special.
You just never know, especially when you go into like a new place. And we walked in, and it's 2 doors down from where I play pool. We walk in, and there's like, mind you, it's like 7
Not 3
o'clock,
doors.
Mama!
a little bit later.
Mama.
And there's like nobody there, so we're like, okay, does this place just suck? But the bartender was super cool. Got to chit chat, ordered. Oh my god, so good, so good. But yeah, I've never had beer battered fries. That is,
They're amazing.
if you ever have that opportunity to try that.
I haven't. I've only ever had onion rings. Yeah.
There ain't no way.
Yeah, they're good.
I've
Onion rings.
Not that. No, no. I refuse to believe that. I just got 2 graphics cards in Tarkov. How the hell?
What?
Mhm.
You
I'm
just got
out.
what?
2 GPUs and Escape from Tarkov.
Oh,
I am leaving this raid. Thank you.
Yes, you need to join us. Golf.
Yes, I shall momentarily. I just need to extract and not die.
Don't die.
But I'm like right next to
I
extract.
say we
bro.
gave him the extra time. I need to have this air fryer heat up anyway.
And I need to smoke a cold cigarette. So.
I think everybody's needs a little breather from that last excitement we just had.
It was fun.
We all experienced it together, though.
That
That's
was
It was
intense.
fun.
That was crazy. I love that.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm sweating.
Practice in your
believe
spare
that.
time. Learn what gates are beneficial.
You know what's messed up is that was forest, and we're all very good at forest.
I actually got worse because I had to
Oh.
overperform.
I was like,
I definitely think it's a better one on Volcano and Enchanted Forest, I think.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go get
Let's
a
do time limit on
No, it's Peaceful Pines, my bad.
what's that other one? With the
Candyland?
Bell's
house.
House?
That's
People
the
going-
Escapist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
escapist.
You want to do
That was-
I haven't
Escapist?
played that one.
Not for the
That
fact
would
that
show
they-
us who's good. Who's
The
not.
Escapist?
You're right.
No,
The
I don't
Escapist.
actually want to do it. No.
Which one do you want to do,
Crucible,
Splints?
of course.
Me?
Candyland, his favorite.
It's his favorite,
Obviously,
Candyland.
I'd rather do Forest again just to find out what's up. because-
I will play that in VR, on God. Don't pimp me.
In time limit mode? I don't know, dude.
Time limit mode. What?
Yeah, we were playing time limit. That's what we were doing. Was whoever gets in first gets best score. Doesn't matter how many strokes. If you get in first,
Can I
you
feel
win.
that, please?
I got you. Okay.
Still matters the amount of strokes
I don't
you
care
get.
about them. Kimono already saying it, but you can.
You still want less strokes, but
You want fewer strokes. Less means that they were not good strokes.
Oh my
Yeah.
I hate you.
yeah, that was definitely.
What is that?
Sorry, that's one of my pet peeves about English.
What?
If
No.
you want to say
Windows.
a lesser amount, you say
I didn't do it. You
fewer.
did it.
I know.
Windows.
Man.
English.
English man.
English, can you speak it?
But seriously, it's important because when you say
Oh,
there are
I have
lesser
cookies
people,
of sorts.
what you really mean are there are fewer people.
Yep, yep.
No, there are definitely lesser
Not
people.
for
However,
I
there
like
might be lesser people.
strawberry
but
wafer
there are also
things.
fewer.
God, man.
You are?
Ooh, wafers.
Kimono, I wish
Mhm.
I had
Strawberry.
that sweet, like that sweet tongue that you had. Cause I just don't like sweet a lot.
Hmm.
The sweet tongue, you know, like you.
Um,
You're
Sweet tooth.
Sweet tongue.
Man, I
sweet
love
tongue
those things.
because why would you call it a tooth? You don't taste them.
The little wafer cookie things. Oh my
Oh, no.
god.
Strawberry.
Oh.
What is that, wafer? Oh.
Yeah. It's got strawberry flavor in it. They come with chocolate flavor, strawberry flavor, different ones.
If you're a tea drinker, they are awesome. Awesome with like an English breakfast.
I usually toss the
So
tea
good.
I
in
love
Harbor.
breakfast tea. And Earl Grey. I love Earl
Yeah.
Grey.
Have you tried
Like
Lady
tea.
Grey yet?
Yep. So
Mhm.
good.
Rise
That
and shine
sounds
is
like
my
something
favorite
else.
pie.
Awesome.
It tastes like a lady.
I haven't even seen Lady Grey. Here.
Oh my
It's a
god.
little hard to find.
It's less
It's less.
It's not as
I'm-
common.
I like the green tea with
Lady Grey is
blueberry.
softer.
Or like I like mixing
Yeah, I
green
like
tea and
that.
mint tea.
Well,
Mm.
if you're into caffeine free, Perfect Peach by Biggie Low is pretty good.
If I drink caffeine free, I might as well drink water. I have to have, like,
An
for me,
herbal
it's,
tea though.
no, it's pointless. I drink
I,
coffee and caffeine or coffee and tea for the caffeine.
I really like Earl Grey, and I actually
Same.
let it steep longer
Grey,
than you're
hot.
supposed to, because I actually like mine a little stronger.
So I use this big ass teacup, this big ass cup,
Her and Captain Picard
And
get
Oh.
along
redo
well.
them, or
and I
queso.
do 2 tea bags,
Hmm.
steep extra long.
Tea
and then,
bags. If I don't know you.
We dehydrate we have like dehydrated honey.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You go with like
Mm.
2 sugar cubes of that, and it's freaking perfect. It's one of those that,
I've
especially
never
like
had
when it gets to like a
dehydrated
little
honey,
bit
no.
better temperature, you just want to sit there and chug the whole thing almost.
Oh, yeah.
You ever have a white
you want a
breakfast
chuggy
by
chuggy
Tesla?
chug.
Can't
Oh
have.
my god.
No, stop.
Ooh.
I didn't do it.
Oh wait, no, tank.
Chai, maybe?
Oh wait, no, tank.
Excitement, Snip Jim, Slim Jim. Ooh yeah.
No,
Uh,
those things are overused.
Tex, is it
Forgot
giving
that.
you like that yellow bar or the yellow?
Let's go.
It's just telling me
I
I've been
don't know.
removed.
Let's
Yeah,
play.
that's
I'm
all I'm
waiting
trying.
for my food to
It's a
fry.
password.
Oh, And
I gave it to
text
you on Snapchat too.
over.
Here we are. The
Every time I put that
masters
password
of
in,
the universe and
We
it
don't
tells
say
me
the
I've been
password.
removed.
Bruh.
Last time that happened,
it's pretty nice.
Am I gonna click away because I've
There
got to
you
get my
Wait a
phone.
minute.
Yeah, yeah. We don't say the password anymore because people will do it.
Uh huh.
Oh, yeah.
Let's play.
You found a new one.
God damn it, Wickle. Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you go.
I'm
Never
gonna
gonna
leave
run
right
around
now.
and
And desert you.
I'm
God damn it.
unfriending everybody.
Good job. Good job.
no, fuck you too.
It's pretty
Give me that
funny. Let's
what's up?
go.
I don't want my ears to bleed. I just.
You listen to your own music? Okay, that's fine.
I mean, honestly, Greek actually has some really wholesome music.
That
It's
The
Friday.
tank
I
here-
don't care for wholesome right now.
Is Tank
I'm
here?
a sinner.
Oh, okay.
No, wow, I'm a sinner.
Alright,
Is
we're
that
gonna start
Jensen
then.
Ackles?
No.
Black, then
Wiggles with a rage riot.
Midnight.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
BRB.
Do a midnight stroke.
You're leaving now? I just about to hit start. Hurry up. Hurry. Run.
Start!
We have
Right.
5 minutes of what we should.
Once I hit start on this time game, you guys are gonna be like, ah.
It's over.
That's too
Let's
quick.
go. I want to play.
He was like, I'm gonna win this shit.
No.
I'm
See,
gonna
I'm sorry.
win
I
this
just
shit.
came across this one.
I
This is
clicked
just
away
funny.
because
I just want everybody to have
do it
a
for myself.
Ryan sauce.
fair.
I clicked away.
Nice. Gigantify. Gigantify a sausage.
Having some tempura chicken nuggets with some sweet and sour and sweet chili sauce.
Yummy.
Maybe some green beans.
I
Don't talk
eat
about
Some green boy.
the
They're
My wife brought home
steamed,
fresh
so-
green beans yesterday from her work. There's somebody at her work
Oh,
that grows.
these are steaming bagged from the freezer.
Steam.
I talk about no food.
Pull them out. You can add
because-
butter, garlic, salt, whatever you like.
Mhm.
Because I
You
love
can boil them and mash them and put them in a pot.
meat.
Dude.
There's
Yeah.
been a network. Oh, I gotta rejoin back in. There's been a network error.
No.
Mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
Well, your
That's
state
potatoes.
has horrible.
Yeah, taters.
Potatoes.
Potatoes.
Well,
From Candyland. Are you
Alpha
serious?
Toad.
Are you serious right now?
Yes.
Komodo is probably
Yep.
gonna win this because she'll go straight into the van instantly because it's sweet.
one catch.
I don't know.
If you want the
Games
frog.
offer advantages sometimes.
Jesus Christ, what is happening tonight?
Alright.
Let's go.
Tex is
Speed
back.
of Candy.
This dick.
Now we're just waiting on Prince.
Free.
Guess when I asked for shenanigans is what we got, hey?
Yeah, you did.
this
You
is why I'm
started
gonna
it.
get louder.
Y'all can blame Wiggles.
I'm gonna take my
Oh,
shirt off
yeah,
and
it's all
start doing the
about you.
helicopter with it. It's gonna be crazy.
No
Yeah.
chill Friday night.
Fucking law.
All shenanigans.
It's all you.
That's
That's
why
alright.
she has this very low on stream because of this.
I very much needed the laughs and the good times and the.
Oh, good.
It's all fun, especially
glad
when
we
you
could
get to
help.
the belly laugh. That's the best. That's
Well,
Big chuckle.
well, I cheers once you're done with that.
I'm glad we can help.
Fine.
Some people need
I
somebody
lost
to
my
talk to.
game of
That's just how it
Snap
is.
anyway, so fuck it.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry, but Speed Golf at Candyland, I'm gonna suck.
It was your idea. You didn't want to do Escapist, so we chose Candyland.
I'm gonna have 1 second each hole.
I will bet you 72,000 rubles. that
Wider
you will not.
greens definitely are
So,
good
like,
for speed golf.
$10. Or...
Yeah, I was gonna say like $42.
No. But if you want to play poker, I'll play poker.
Oh,
Oh, no.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
I'll play poker.
you can
Oh,
you
where?
can play poker all you want. I'm not spending my shit.
That's the best though.
You poker, you brought her.
Just 'cause I brought it in me.
Don't flirt me with a good time, Swins.
Mono's got to deal with our hooligan.
Yeah. It's all good.
It's plus 18.
It's normal. It's normal. It's human nature.
It's human nature.
It's poker.
Those that are in denial, you know, they can just stay in denial of human nature.
That's a really weird say. Whatever, man. I'm gonna say.
Don't make it euchre. That's all I'm gonna say on it.
3, 2, 1. Let's go.
No,
No,
we need
Prince.
Prince back. Yeah,
Prince.
walked away
Oh,
from
he
it.
left the game too. Never mind.
Did he?
We can hit start.
I thought he fell in the cold last time. We're waiting for
Okay.
I didn't realize you left the game.
Ooh,
Didn't
Memorial?
change.
Okay, let's roll.
Yeah, I left to eat dinner, but I'm still here.
Let's just
Yeah,
roll.
Prince. We were waiting on Prince to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Roll
Oh,
your
Prince?
balls.
Where is Prince? They punished him for the past game.
He's
No, not last
pooping.
game.
Here.
He's pooping.
Mm-hmm.
It's those chicken nuggets or whatever. So
I mean, by the time we get done with this, he'll be back. So
Tempura chicken nuggets.
we'll just hit start and go.
I'm
You
just
ready,
gonna watch
Tex?
the Olympics.
You ready, Momo?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Batter.
All right.
Bro.
Ready, set, go.
That's not a bad, but okay.
It's
I got
Candyland.
2 minutes.
No pee breaks until you reach the 18th hole.
Whoever wins this, you love your candy.
Yeah, don't try and take breaks because I had to get up and get
What
food
was
and
it?
it was not pretty.
I wasn't gonna make you wait on me anyway.
No, too fast.
Too fast. You're supposed to go fast.
It's true.
Why
went
did
too
that
fast.
go to? I can't
You
get
went
in
so
the hole.
fast, she was on another hole.
I am normally
Wiggles
okay
made
on
it
this one,
across.
but I am struggling.
Take up
I'm
more
already
time.
in.
No, not in the water, Wiggles.
What did you do to me?
Made it.
I didn't do it. I've been in the hole.
I've been in the hole for a very long time. I'm waiting for you guys.
Take up more time.
Come on, Tex. You got this.
Are you waiting for?
What are you
Yeah, 30
waiting for?
seconds. Maybe give or take.
Oh, am I having to go back to game?
I had the best.
Sorry, stream.
The time of your life.
Yes.
The time.
Good riddance.
So, you can bot
Ah!
I have a hiccup in between that, but
Oh
What's
shit.
fit in is life.
Gotta love Green
Oh shit, shit, shit.
This ain't work. We can just do whatever.
Did they play that song during Deadpool, Momo?
Wait, there's a handbrake button?
Day, good
I was
riddance.
like,
Yeah.
What the fuck? I just found out.
there's a
Uh,
handbrake
I
button?
Remember they played Bye Bye Bye.
Remember,
I did do bye bye bye.
They tried to.
obviously
Yes.
it was timed.
No, it was really good.
And like a prayer.
It was so
Yeah,
good.
well, it's time. I'm trying to get used to it again.
that set me
Been
so
that long
far
since we played
down. I'm right above you, Tex.
I might try it.
Lady! Lady got first place on the hole. Michigan is in the
So,
lead,
yeah,
though.
you're not coming last year.
Monty, go
I'm
lay
sorry.
down.
Go, Michigan.
Down, boy.
It's ready, go, when the hole comes back around. Turn around. Wow, that was cool.
I didn't get denied by the hole. I got denied by you.
Ooh, I
Going
stuck
on
in a
Wiggles.
break
Look at those
before
seconds, split seconds apart.
Me and Lady can't find the hole. over here.
14.11 and 14.28.
That's on the hole.
Millisecond.
Mm-hmm. Down to the milliseconds.
Yeah, just
No
keep
one
going.
caught the toad.
That was a bad mistake.
No, no.
Wiggles,
Let's
he
go.
found all 3 holes at once.
Get it, get it.
Dang, we
Oh.
lose being a kid.
You kidding me?
Well,
No,
why is everyone
it's
going
like-
off to the left? What?
It killed
Yeah, I
us.
went this way.
Made it.
Keep jumping. I don't know.
I don't know why it did that to us. But we all went into the dirt.
Damn it.
Whoa, I went. I don't know.
Damn it.
You be okay.
I don't like
Ooh,
speedballs, but I feel
sparkly.
Like I have to like stretch out.
Rainsby and a Sparkly Bee taking her own path.
Combination of all your
Her
previous
own
experience
path.
has accelerated.
That was interesting and dangerous.
I want to take it slow.
But I fucked up and ended up over there.
I feel like I had to overcompensate.
What?
I just want to keep it slow.
You can't take it slow.
Go fast, fast.
Take it slow. Take it slow.
I like how you both start singing.
Eagles.
I'm gonna get
Take it
hole one
easy.
right here.
Yeah, I made it.
Yeah, I got a hole one too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I found
I
Momo.
think a lot of us got
All right.
It's okay. I wasn't expecting
Kimono's
that.
too busy by the.
Normally I get
Candy.
fucked by that door. The door. Always
Yeah, I just did too.
Mm-hmm.
Twice.
Well,
Yeah.
don't bend over then.
That never used to be a thing. Michigan.
What?
Terrible.
Push it in.
Terrible.
No, he bends
Push
over.
it down, push it down, baby. Where you been, where you been? Sorry, that's a song.
I'm an adult.
Everybody likes to.
Oi, oi,
What?
oi, lad.
What?
Yeah, don't trust that fucking thing.
What
Don't
thing are
trust
you
it.
talking? What thing are you talking about? Oh,
Pew.
What am I doing?
Oh no.
The teleport thingamajiggies that they got in there, or push
That's fucking speed race. Jesus.
speed things.
Also, lady.
Oh,
I'm
what is
sorry,
this?
please don't hurt me.
Wiggles, don't try to take the normal route. Just.
Brent's over here, don't worry me.
Don't hurt
What do you mean?
Wait,
No, you have to look at
Nice.
it.
Yeah, you went donut bouncing.
I'll give you a donut.
There you go.
Nice.
Damn, son.
Alright, so you're not
Hey,
getting
I'm
in
just
here.
happy I'm up.
I'm so confused.
I'm so confuzzled.
No, right? I was like, I wasn't sure when you would be back, so we started without you. And we figured you'd jump in on the next one. And then you're like talking, and I thought you were in here, so.
My.
Hey,
Able to
hole
go.
one. I got a hole one. Yes.
I did too.
When my phone is texted. Well, I was outside.
I got in like 5 seconds.
Damn,
I
fun.
got in so quick, I passed out.
Damn, son, that sounds like a personal problem.
Everything's an innuendo for you. Everything's an innuendo.
That's why I said it.
One. Yeah.
I'm trying to PG. I'm PG.
Green beans too hot. I will let them
The
cool.
P and the G.
While I enjoy the
Go through the donut. Through the donut. Through the donut.
We're rejected by the donut.
Get me. I got stung, buddy.
That brown hole that you didn't kill.
Whoa, that was hi, Michigan. I think we overshot that one.
What?
That's 2.5.
Oh, there's a brown donut right here.
That,
No!
That is fair.
It's less than 2.5. Dang it.
Anyway, let me.
I'm just saying the facts, guys. Come on.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, let me know when y'all are done, but I literally have it up right here.
Okay.
I'm a little bit on the silly side tonight.
Fucking dumb.
That's okay. Oh,
There you go.
what the hell?
That's exactly what I am. Dumb as
He's just trying something different.
Yeah, because I'm fucked. I'm not even gonna make it.
No, you're trying things new. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
there should be like 2 1/4. Like not even like 2 1/4. If that.
I am done.
It keep jumping over though. At 2 1/4.
Half, maybe. 2.5.
I think it's different
No,
for everybody.
it's
to be
like-
fair.
From you,
It's like
it's
just
2.5. I was
Just
expecting-
2, maybe. No.
Maybe it's
This much
64%.
difference, and I'm like doing bad.
It's 64%.
There.
2.5, 2.5.
I don't know. I had to shoot to the right a little bit too. Maybe that made a
So
difference.
it's 2 1/3.
It was none of that. Shut up.
It was 2 and a smidgen.
Mom!
Was it
Bunch of
37
hecklers.
something?
Yes.
Hey, yo, what?
Okay,
What do I do here?
Mommy, sorry.
Okay, Mom.
I figured let me make the joke at this time, like first time ever.
Are you kidding me? On both shots. Seriously. Hello?
You only
Am
got
I
one.
Hey, how's it
perfect or
going?
anything?
One shot, one opportunity.
Wow.
Hello?
I'm in the hole, so I'm happy.
I forgot I was playing. Apparently my ball's playing for me and I just made it to the hole somehow. It's the alcohol, I don't know.
See, you keep fucking with that AI, it's gonna start taking over for you.
I swear my mouse is driving and I'm not even doing it. I even took a break from the alcohol for a regular drink for a minute and I'm like, what the hell?
I could really use one of those snuggies.
A
Dino
snuggie?
Nuggies and barbecue sauce. I earned them with that.
Oh, nuggies.
No, not nuggies, a snuggie.
A snuggie? Oh.
Yeah, I need a snuggie.
That is sick.
It's like
Oh, you motherfuckers.
It's the reverse robe. It's just a giant blanket with sleeves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a hood.
Covers your toes too.
Not always a hood.
No, you don't have to
Some
be
of
in
them
the
didn't have hoods. But I would wear a hoodie.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a hoodie collection. Hoodie weather is my favorite weather.
I know.
You're right. Winter.
I love it. Fall is my favorite.
I'm gonna
time of
have to
year.
adjust to
Fucking
fall in
Candyland.
Florida though.
So it's so crazy by us here. So right now, I think it's like 59 outside.
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah, it's
60s here.
60. Yeah, it's 64 right now.
No.
Might be cooler a bit out there.
I think I just got a hole in one.
Hey, that was
Nice.
It
Cool.
scared me.
To get,
I was third with a hole in one. I bounced a lot.
I was
Damn.
the first one in there.
I know, I bounced all over the place. I don't know how I got it that close.
Do you need like a trophy or something?
I do.
Yes, that's what
I
we're playing
do.
for.
Yeah.
I need a trophy.
Yeah.
Michigan, what's it look like?
I was the last one. Fuck me.
We're planning to get premium mono snuggles.
So what's this
Yeah.
trophy look like? Like a hole?
Premium mono stream.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
Oh, I
Mono
went all the way back.
snuggles?
What the fuck?
What?
yeah, that's the prize.
Mono snuggles?
Snuggles with you.
Oh. Well.
In an undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location is right. It'd be like,
Florida.
you can snuggle me if you can find me. I'm just kidding.
I know where you live.
Know where I live. I'm in trouble.
Mm-mm.
I'm in trouble.
It would be even worse when I'm an hour away.
I know.
You're gonna wake
Be like,
up
knock,
and
knock, knock.
then-
Who's at my door? I don't answer the door.
No, you're gonna wake
Yeah.
up in bed and turn around, and then lady be sitting there like,
I don't remember
probably have
I
a
don't
spare
remember
key.
allowing visitors.
Watch Mona fill
this
out.
is why you can't.
Made it.
At the
Oh,
moment.
I forgot that. I don't know what I was trying to do there. That was dumb.
Whoa.
I do plan on giving you a spare key to my place though, in case we need you.
So when you lock yourself
Are
out.
you kidding me?
Yeah, sure.
I have all Spencer's keys to all of his bedrooms.
I mean, to be fair, Dalton's gonna be working from home for a while, but
So you should be okay.
Oh, that was
Unless you both lock yourselves out.
I never.
And then you're in trouble.
if my parents lived closer to us, they would have a spare key to my place.
So now I'm mommy mono.
But...
what is happening? I don't know why.
Totally.
Calling Wiggles. What? I missed.
Don't follow Wiggles.
We're just one of my best friends. Trust me.
I know.
You're not gonna steal my shit.
No, I don't need any more stuff.
It's okay, we won't have very much anyway.
Yeah, don't do it that way. Because there's a little gap there.
I like my minimalist life. This is like this room has the most stuff in it.
Right now you're in a bad position. But
I'll get it.
Yeah, if you go a little bit, just a little bit forward, you'll have a gap right there. It's basically the same gap here.
And head pats.
Fuck that. I'm gonna make my 7 points worth it. Fuck. Okay, that was. Yeah. No, you only get 7.
Already.
Okay, you guys gotta help remind me to make more stream clips. I forget. Always forget to clip stuff.
What is
Still
it?
last, fuck you all.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh shit.
Let's see.
There we go. Yeah, I found out the handbrake button. That really helps.
Wait, what is the handbrake button?
Yep, I saw there's S handbrake. Use it. It helps so much.
An S?
Yep.
She was talking about it earlier, but I didn't understand what she was talking about either.
Oh, Michigan's not even here. Mike, can't you?
Michigan!
Oh no!
Your time! No! He was probably like in first place too.
We're up. He was fourth, third.
He was in third, yeah. Tied with me.
Not anymore.
Nope.
Deary, deary, deary.
Michigan, you were tied with me. Where?
Ladder's just costed game.
Mm-hmm.
He hit pretty good though. He shuffled right on into 2 strings.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
I wasn't even trying.
What was that?
No, my bladder. Yeah, my bladder said something else.
Still last. Fuck you.
Play nothing serious.
How did I not even? Oh,
What?
okay. Thank you.
Why did I press reset? Holy shit.
That's it's next to R for some reason. I don't know.
The hell do we go here?
So you can hit the air brakes before you run into somebody. You can hit it to stop before you get past a certain point, so you can get in the hole. You line up to the hole better.
Yes.
Is that only in the speed
I
mode?
went from last place to first place only.
Is that-
there was a button.
Is that only with the speed racing that there's the air brakes?
Do me this dirty.
Maybe. Who knows? We'll have to find out with a regular.
For real. Guess I've been doing it the hard way this whole time then.
Mm-hmm.
Did me dirty.
What do you mean?
She even told us too. She told us
You
like
were ahead.
like
You were
37
Yeah.
minutes ago. She was like, "Hey, use the handbrake." And we were like,
Yeah, and I meant to ask her what that was, and then I got sidetracked mentally and forgot to ask, and I was like, because I was like air brakes, and then blah blah blah, squirrel.
Yeah.
Squirrel on caffeine.
There was a squirrel.
It was just having a practice on next door before.
Yeah,
Mhm.
This is not where you're supposed to. My total time is
I was still
an
in
hour
last
and
place.
20.
Mama's in the lead because of the air brakes. Now I know. Oh, the air brakes are gonna work so good right here. Oh my gosh.
What?
Oops.
I don't know what
The
that-
perfect example of when to use air brakes. Right there, people. Right there.
Well, not-
That's
That's not even the hole.
What's
Right
poppin'?
here.
Don't mind me, just watch.
oh Jesus.
Anyways, the hole's over here.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't get it.
Legos. Mona's getting it.
I'm
The
figuring it
handbrakes.
out too.
Nice.
Like Wiggles using the brakes.
I was gonna say, you see that stop right there?
Yeah, I saw it.
Nice stop.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
the
a fucking
e-brake.
game changer.
No,
Oh
you
my
did
God.
your e-brake.
Yeah.
You just
Look at me and Mono. Oh, this is gonna help with this one too.
I didn't even
I
make it
usually
up.
get this in too, anyways.
Oh yeah, because you could stop without the getting in front of those dang marbles from hitting you,
Yeah.
probably.
I cannot tell you how many times I have been hit by a buzzsaw on forest, or jumped out of the half pipe beyond it,
Right?
just because I do not have a way to brake. Now I do.
Wow.
Look at us. Oh, bitch.
Fly! You're supposed to fly!
I was flying and then you stopped me.
You're flying too low to the ground. Gotta get higher.
Can't help it.
That's all that snooker should have made you better at this.
Vad är det bara? Vad är det bara? Åh.
Oh, you could have jumped.
You almost still got denied by the pole. Since when does the pole stay in the hole?
It does that sometimes.
It's usually out, isn't it?
I
Yeah,
hit
yeah,
the dang
but I
pole.
play real golf,
I'll
yeah.
bounce off the balls in the hole. I do all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Normally when you're on the green.
Now
you
we gotta
take-
find out if it works at regular.
Yeah, we gotta play a regular.
I
Just
think
so we
it depends on
know.
the depth of the hole.
Yes.
Yep.
But anyways, yes, the speed
Fair.
thing's alright, but I just
We'll
want
do a
to-
little bit different.
I feel like I have to be competitive. I was like, no.
It's just fun to talk shit. That's one of my favorite things to do when we're doing
No, golf with
Are we
friends.
doing
is
randomized?
Yup.
Or
Teams.
semi-competitive stuff.
I'm very
Alright.
competitive. That's a huge issue.
I still think it should be girls against boys.
I'm gonna dip. I've got a friend who's waiting on me.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck, Tank.
Have fun though.
I mean, it has its
Prince, you gonna join?
four anyway.
Bye.
Oh,
See you
Hold
later.
on a sec.
Momo. Bye everybody.
later.
Bye.
I'll be
But yeah,
here
we stopped so you can join if you want.
Thank you, thank
That's
you.
that's a name of us.
Cursed corruptors.
Curse corruptors and hot air hitters.
No, I saw that. I was like,
Oh,
I
Mhm.
know it's a little different. So there's only 3 girls, and then we got one guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, it would be a little wonky to do it with 3v5.
I got a gigantic dice.
What?
I just there's a bunch of emotes and
You know what? I'll
some of
back
them are
out.
hilarious.
There's
Giant.
one less man.
Oh come on.
But Prince was joining.
Wiggles, you gotta hit
Now,
poke
'cause that's
start.
One less guy.
But then we're still back in the same spot. It'd be better if you were in.
True.
Yeah, it's better to have
Wait.
even teams.
No, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 girls, right?
Yeah, but if
One
Prince
less
is
guy.
joining, it's fine.
Yeah,
What? How does that make it?
get back in.
Because
We need
Is
4-4.
it-
4v4, not.
Yeah,
one
it
guy's
was
got
fine the way it
5
was.
guys, 3 girls. 5 guys, 3 girls.
By you leaving, it won't be
We're
even.
doing 3v5.
Equal number.
We're
'Cause it won't be even.
The girls team.
Yeah.
4-4 even.
Excuse me. Give me a few
I
seconds.
will
I am
join back,
downloading it
yes.
now.
Yeah, it's like you joined, you left, you messed it up.
Good.
It won't. It won't take me long to install. My internet go.
No.
I didn't know there was a female man here. Sorry.
I have no clue what that is.
Little.
It's a dude dancing, so I have to gigantify.
You right. 32 seconds inbound.
NyQuil.
You see 130 inbound.
Splints, how do you have a NyQuil bottle for an icon?
I don't know.
Michaels?
It's been like that forever.
I'm a girl.
Alright. And now we're just waiting on Prince. So I guess,
How
yeah,
you
I'm just
do?
being the honorary girl today.
Hey.
Well,
Hey, girlfriend.
Right on cue.
It's like, well, damn it, I got nothing to say to that.
Hey, girlfriend.
I grow a beard like any girl can. So good. Yeah. So you know what? Girl power. Let's go.
We're waiting on one more. You gotta wait.
I need
girl
to turn
power.
this
Let's go.
music.
You're waiting. You gotta wait.
Guys have cooties.
Michigan has cooties.
You guys ever watch Kindergarten Cop?
No,
Okay,
I'm not that old.
I think so. See.
Never mind. I'm not gonna make it. It's not a stream appropriate quote.
I'm trying to be as mature.
I thought about it. I'm like, oh yeah, we're not.
Girl power.
This doesn't own this DLC.
I might have to get myself another beer. You can still start it. I just drinking too quick.
I'm here.
Man, you have got some awesome stuff.
Thanks.
Holy cow.
I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna grab a beer.
Don't mind.
Brain bought some of these for me, believe it or not.
Like other stuff that other little helmets and stuff. And
Oh yeah. She's been playing for so long.
I'm in, by the way. Whenever
Okay.
you're ready.
Heck
Please.
yeah.
The ball master is here.
okay,
Don't
so
worry.
what is happening? What
We're
My
doing
face, I
teams.
We're just playing on teams.
Y'all.
It's still the same game, but we're on teams.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're not doing speed because we want to see if the brakes work on regular mode.
Watch it. Watch that it's been there this whole time.
If it works on regular mode, I'm gonna DM a friend and ask them how long has this been a thing, because I'm just like,
Hold up. Who's on team?
what the heck?
So, dude.
Girl power.
What did I hit?
All the boys except for Michigan are in one team.
What did I hit? I don't know what I
You
hit.
have to wait for Tex to come back.
Hit the wrong button.
I have
Oh, catch.
no idea what you hit.
Oh no! Alerts are active. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Oh, what turns something off? Oh, pause. I can pause alerts. That's what it is. Pause. Alerts are paused. Alerts are active. I forgot I made that.
Interesting.
That I did that for like if somebody drops like 100 million subs and you don't want to have to watch them all.
Oh yeah.
You can pause it.
Oh yeah.
Talk about rich though. Damn.
I know, right?
I guess.
I will forget the buttons there. Trust me, I won't forget the buttons there. And have to watch all 100 because
Yeah.
I know, right? Holy shit.
mostly it's for like negative things though.
Yeah.
That's fair, you know.
I don't remember what kind of alerts would be negative, but I'm sure there are.
Hey.
So.
Kimono.
Uh-huh.
You wanna know what my phone background is?
What?
Hamster.
That's so cute. I love the beady eyes. I love it.
Damn, that's up
Hamster.
and close hamster too.
He's a
Yeah.
hamster.
And I
You
will.
don't want to see my background.
Waiting, waiting.
Are you sure about that?
What you waiting? What you waiting for?
Just text. Just text. He's gonna put his ears back on. Rigged? Yes, 100%.
It's got a little.
Tex, you have a horrible.
He's playing with a cat.
Tex, I'm gonna burn your hat.
Damn, son.
We're waiting on you, Tex.
Yeah, Tex.
Hey, you can put your shoulder up a little higher. Hey.
He's doing
It's about
better.
there.
Hey, well, you got
Heck
shoulder
yeah.
power.
Hey, at least it's even. You're making progress.
That one's there. I can only get.
It's better.
So if I ever arm wrestle, I know what arm to wrestle.
Alright, I'm gonna hit the start button. We're on 2 teams. The Cursed Corruptors against the Hot Air Hitters.
Girl power, let's go, girls.
So-
Versus a solo team called Hamster.
No, we can do that. We can make you a solo team. Just kidding. Alright.
Do it.
Ready?
Girl
Sit.
power, let's go.
Go. Go! Get to find if the brakes is a thing.
I still haven't played The Escapist. I think I have it actually.
Well, easy
To me, this one's the second easiest next to
I
Forest.
watched. It's gonna be there.
To me.
I swear I've seen it there before.
What?
No, it doesn't
Yep.
work.
Oh, it's only on fast mode. Dang it. It's only get brakes on the speed game. I wonder if I can turn it on.
You're welcome,
I'm
lady.
too hard.
You can restart it and turn it on.
No, we're already in this.
Yeah, we're in it.
I did bad.
Yeah, restart it. Restart it. Turn it
That
on.
means we have to join the game again.
Do too. Let's go.
Oh, is this like
No,
a
because
Texas
some people have a
Scramble?
hard time joining, and it'll take them 5-10 minutes to join.
Kind of seems like that. Come on, in the hole, in the hole. Oh, so close.
No.
No brakes. But I do wonder if it's a setting.
Sorry,
That's
guys.
the next thing I'll check.
Girl power.
There we go.
I'm working on it, okay?
I love that it shows who's on whose team above the next to their name. Momo! Come on, Momo, we need you! We need you, Momo.
That's not me.
Just remember, guys, it's not a race now. You can take your time.
No,
You
we're
can
winning.
breathe. I think we're so used to racing.
To be fair, yes, I have been doing that, but I don't want to hurt my team.
No.
Wiggles hit me, and then I hit splits, so I guess, I don't know, I guess that's fair.
I know.
Wow.
I get hit all over the
Okay, you were
place.
trying to get back at him.
Hi,
Somehow.
Get wrecked, nerd. Welcome back. You're missing the shenanigans. Thank you for the 33 months, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're awesome.
Let's
Thank you,
go.
thank you,
Let's
thank you.
go, girls.
I need some hype in chat.
Down here, come on.
I don't know where the button is, though. There it is. Found it.
I did too. I thought
Where's
I was
the
gonna
hole?
jump over it.
That's over here.
Where I was.
I was gonna go to that hole.
I didn't even jump over
Get
it.
in the
It's
hole.
there because
I think
Joe's got
jumping is
XY
off.
chromosome.
Is it?
I was the first.
It is off. No.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
It is. I can't jump into it.
We're gonna have to reset. We're gonna have to reset. I can't live without jumping.
What do you mean?
No, yeah. We can't survive without jumping here.
Retire your games, guys. Retire.
I was
That
showing
explains
dominance.
everything.
Yeah.
There's no jumping.
I was beating them all. I was showing
Yeah.
dominance, girls. Let's go.
You're still in the green. What are you saying? Dominant.
So now, I guess
give
now
you
we can find out
dominance.
if you can turn on the
Yeah.
speed thing.
Okay, I'm hosting.
No, yeah, this is not even our. I'm retiring.
That's right, because I have to select Cat's
still tied.
teams in order to have the jumping.
We had no jumping, so.
Enable conclusion.
Jump.
We can reshoot from start. Enabled ball spin. Allow jumping. Enabled. Yes. Show last power. Gravity. Bounce ground.
Yeah, no jump. Okay, yeah, that's.
Oh, it says host doesn't own this DLC.
Oh yeah, you don't have to worry about it. It's okay.
I don't see anything about breaks.
That was embarrassing.
The host doesn't have a downloadable candy.
What? But yeah, I don't see breaks. I want breaks.
Did you all go out of the game?
Yeah, we had.
Yeah. The jump was off.
Oh, we all left?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm back good.
Does that mean
Yeah.
we were winning then?
Retire. Escape and retire. Because once we find out you can't jump, then nobody wants to play. Because that's just terrible.
Yeah, it's hard.
Terrible.
No jump.
I can deal with no hitting each other and all kinds of stuff, but jumping, that's just like,
That is pretty quiet.
yeah.
Interesting. So yeah.
Want to jump?
I just.
What the couch mode?
Where? What?
Couch mode.
Oh, I don't know. What is couch mode?
What the who? What?
Couch mode.
Oh. Do you want me to look it up?
Legs, collision, free cam, retry shot, while jumping.
Okay, so couch mode allows players to play a quick casual 9-hole game on a randomly selected level.
Oh. No fun.
Ian's just scored.
With power-ups.
Nice. He's been
Might
scoring.
have been removed from the game. Confirmed.
Splints, get back here.
Oh.
There was that penalty kick?
I'm trying.
Yeah,
Make sure jump is on again. Just to double check.
Yeah, it is. Because
You're on
I
one
selected
so-
Cat's team. I forgot I made a custom teams one to so jump would be on every time.
Yeah, it's some penalty kicks. Yeah.
That's why it says Cat's team versus teams. 'Cause jumping.
Everybody jump. Fight balls.
Are we gonna be fireflies?
Yeah. Fireflies.
People move me where I need to be.
Oh, wait a minute.
We can-
What do we want to make the guy? Nimble gnomes. It's the fireflies against the nimble gnomes.
That's
This is
legit.
about right.
Oh, shoot. There.
Anyways,
Lost it all.
text if you find that, the penalty kick. Let me see it.
Oh, there's a hole in my lip.
Well, it's still going on, so I'm guessing it'll be on YouTube in the next hour.
I know, I'm sorry.
Professional streamer, right, Bio? Right? I'm terrible.
Jeez, that cat is
Totally
going
got sidetracked.
I know, right? Damn.
I got
Okay.
scared.
Alright, I think we're good. I think we can try this again.
Let's do it. Let's roll.
Alright.
We're going now?
Very hard work.
Yes.
Stadium.
We're gonna do teams.
I'm glad.
I think I'm gonna play this.
Oh,
Move.
I
These
forgot about
questions.
these. I forgot to turn on power-ups last time we played teams.
Dang it.
Who hit me?
Apparently I turned them on Cat's custom teams. What the hell am I doing here? 5 strokes to get in the straight stretch hole.
I don't like the
People
power
are turning into stars. I don't know.
Professional streamer reads chat like 2 hours later. Right, I do. I was struggling. I had to fix a thing. It was broke.
That power up stuff is. I never like power ups. It's just like, ooh, I can.
I mean, professional streamers don't read chat at all. Let's be real.
I'm sorry.
Depends on what level they are, right?
Oh.
I'm just like... I forget how you
How do you
trigger
use
the
the
power-ups. I forget. There's a key you hit. What
Space.
Aha.
What is it? Spacebar?
Space, but I think jump's gone.
It's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I'm never
Oh,
gonna
you
use
want it to be the
power
one
ups because I'm not used to
of the bad streamers? No, never. I enjoy talking to people. If my chat went so fast I could talk to people, I don't know what I would do. I would still try to talk to people. I just would be sad I couldn't talk to them all. 6! Hello, 6.
Hello, thanks.
Somebody needs to give 6 a high five.
Are you kidding me? Is this a timed event?
No, just stop. Don't jump at the end.
Oh my god.
Don't jump at all. That's the mistake everybody makes. Hi, Joffrey.
No, but every time I hit the edge,
Just wait. Wait for it. No, don't. It's okay. Just
No, don't do anything.
wait for it.
Hey. Hey.
Oh, so it's doing it on. There you go.
It must be that guy power they're trying to
Are you guys playing another game after? Yes, we are, Joffrey. We're doing speed golf probably again after this.
Girl power.
Oh my god, I don't even know where I'm going. Apparently backwards.
Good. Damn, Kimono, thank you. I needed that.
I did it to myself too. I mean,
I used it on purpose.
Not the cheesies.
Terrible.
Bio, you're the bad streamer.
No, I'm getting very intense.
I feel like
You haven't streamed in forever.
Oh, I remember this whole.
Yeah, it was like 5 minutes ago.
That's why I remembered it.
Crap, I jumped
I
over.
don't stream. No, but your pet did.
I got a boogie.
What the hell?
Whoa.
Or gummies. Try not to eat the whole bag.
Somebody said beat the
See,
whole
you have
bag.
more power than me because if I could get those, you eat them one at a time. For me, it's not good unless you get like 3 or 4 of them at
You
the
right.
same time.
Yeah, that's an
It makes
issue.
the
That's
flavor.
an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have
There are 3.
somewhere. Hold on.
Mhm.
You know the
Try
bags
to
of
slow
fruit
down.
snacks? You know, like the little bags of fruit snacks you get.
Mhm.
All these ones are the best. The little Black Forest ones that got a little fruit juice in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you open the bag and you put all of them in your mouth, you don't eat those one at a time.
Yeah, I
There's
almost
only like 6 of them in there.
bought the Welch's ones today because they were like $5 for a box of 40. They were on sale. They're really good. Aiden is retired now. AKA the plants got too big and you can't see anything. Oh no. Yeah.
Look what I got.
Gummies! Lifesaver gummies, nice.
Those are really good too.
The 5 flavors.
Mhm.
They have the Starburst ones of those too. The Starburst flavored lifesavers. They are incredible.
Apparently I'm using all the Pokeballs to catch
Yes,
this.
they are.
So
Okay,
good.
I think.
Who's winning? The gnomes are winning. Girls, we gotta do better.
Hell
Not
yeah.
a girl.
No, the girls have to go better. Get better.
You can only do so much while I'm
Where
trying
the
to
hell did they go?
Hold on, I'm trying to win for the girls. Let's go. I got an eagle.
You go, girl.
Hell yeah, sisterhood.
That was
I got
perfect.
the-
Yeah.
I got the sisterhood.
That was perfect. That was awesome.
I got par.
I actually need to buy more balls.
Look at the dudes. They're such losers.
Mm-hmm.
Heresy detected. Brother, get the flamer.
Hey, it's only
The
a one
heavy
difference now.
flamer.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, girl power.
Damn it, Bobby.
No! Missed it by a smidgen. It would have been a hole in one.
Oh, sure.
Let's go, girls.
Stay.
Birdie.
Ah.
Ah, fuck.
Mama, that's not how we roll. Oh no! Mama got stuck in the honey in the water. How do you find honey in the water?
I did well, didn't I?
Yes.
We were doing so
Already
good.
in.
Come on, Mona.
Already in.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Bounce, bounce. Nice.
Did it.
Anyways, you need to keep doing that, Vince, because it's actually good for your back.
Oh my gosh!
Look at that, that's perfect. That's not where the hole is. The hole's on the other side.
Thank you so much!
We're winning, guys. Girls. Sorry.
Thank you for the raid, Nick Dothy. I hope you're doing awesome.
Let's go, girls.
How was Paper Mario? Oh. Crap. No, don't die, don't die. Ooh, ooh. Good job, good job. Proud of myself. Whoa, mouse! My mouse is doing dumb things again.
There you go. Birdie. We all got birdies. We're winning. Let's go,
Oh
girl.
my god.
You enjoyed it? Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Wow.
Y'all died today.
Get out of the fire.
Alright, which bot is doing raids on top of... or shoutouts on top of shoutouts? Okay.
Y'all making me look fancy.
Bot rigs. We gotta talk later.
Lady. We're trying to win here. The best
I
sex
realized
should win.
that, Joe.
Best sex will win. Let's go.
It's Joanne, get it right.
Now we're only having
Sorry.
No,
You're good,
anyways,
you're good.
My grandma used to call me Josephine when she got mad at me.
Really? That's cute.
Yeah, it was like a downgrade, like Josephine.
Here you go.
Oh, come on.
Stop it in.
I think you guys do better when we're playing speed golf because you got the brakes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the fuck is happening
Yep.
to my ball. People keep using power-ups.
Yeah, I know. That's what pisses me off. Is like
I don't know what's
it's
happening.
pissing me off because I could have got in two.
Yeah. Well,
All the shenanigans.
all of us equally.
It does.
Fuck you. Let's get-
Jesus.
We're still winning.
1 point. I wouldn't count your chickens till they're hatched.
Well, I'm gonna count them while they're getting pooped out. So,
Mm-hmm.
trying to help the sister.
No, wrong way.
Sisterhood.
Oh, jeez. The fence. Why?
Hey, Wiggles, get over there.
I'm the boss of you, lady.
Hit somebody.
Oh my god.
Oh, I hate this. We've done so. I've done so many strokes.
I did very well in the other holes, so if I have one bad hole, my bad.
I definitely. This is a bad hole for me.
Got in.
We won't talk about it.
That's a big hole. Hit. Tied game. Tied game.
We're tied.
Look how even that is.
Girl power. Girl power.
I'm proud of you guys. I thought since we had Michigan, y'all would be in trouble.
Nope. I got a hole in one. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, girls.
And fuck you, Michigan.
Tex got a hole in one too.
I'm the most.
I heard
the
I'm going.
strongest girl on this team.
I heard I'm going to pick your ass.
Okay.
Not
Girl, y'all heard it here first.
Mo, you got this.
Say
Not
this.
the strongest.
I think we need to test for what is it? Steroids.
Mhm.
Drug test.
Well,
Drug
hold
test?
on.
He's
I
got
think
it.
I heard you say that before, right? Drug test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got
I
XY
say that a
chromosome.
lot. You can drug test me and then you realize that's not a girl.
He's got XY.
You okay,
He's
Momo?
got XY and he's got best beard on team.
I got the best.
Oh,
yeah, I
come
do
on.
have the best beard.
Mm.
Come on.
Still tied.
Come on.
No,
He's
I'm
not
on
on
the
our
other
team.
team. I'm on the other team.
Oh, you're right.
Fucker, come
Oh,
on.
that funny helped a lot.
Come
That's
on.
great, Twitch. Please follow.
Nice eagle.
Ready.
That's my team.
Prince is about to cause
Not
trouble.
on your team.
Not you.
That was stupid. Oh, that worked. Okay.
Someone's hacking my mouse.
Fishkin, what happened?
Okay, I have something to confess. I have been hacking all of your guys' mouses right now.
Oh,
Or
I
the
believe
mice.
it.
I have been the mice. The mice.
The mice are evil.
Just got
This
to
is why we have a
I have
cat.
released.
This is why we
Yeah.
have a cat on our team.
Which one? The blue, green, or the
No, people are hitting me.
It's hard to tell. They look the same.
I know.
No.
Come on, girl, let's do it. We're gonna win. We're gonna beat these losers.
I didn't do so good.
Lady, we're on soup too.
I got a 2 on that last door and it said we got. Can't be low score.
Misty Kid, I don't think we're doing as good now.
This one's like a blue, green.
That's
and
pretty.
Hey,
this
splits,
one's
guess
like a
what?
blue, purple.
I like the blue purple.
You're a split to that wood.
The blue, green is Nessie plays hide and seek, and then the blue, purple is called Scorpio's production.
That's a fake
Scorpio.
hole. So you
Mhm.
What are you using this on?
Oh, we were getting
Oh,
our
for
ass
your
beat.
nails. I wasn't sure if you were using it for like art or for your.
GG. GG, girls. Gold point lead.
No.
What's your name again? Otherwise, I'm also a female.
Be thankful I got the randomizer on the shape and I didn't use it.
I'm glad you did.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Just hit me with whatever they hit me with.
I hate that. Bull.
Well, fucking stop.
I hate that power
Yeah.
stuff. That's not how you play real golf.
Main musician.
You don't use power ups, so you still can't win.
Listen here. Stop
Okay.
whining. Okay? Stop whining. You want me to get your attention or what?
Yes, you should give me a tampon too.
I have plenty of them. I hardly use them anymore.
I was gonna say a pad with wing, but
Those are for really heavy flows
Let's
and
go
overnight.
Detroit Red Wings, man.
Uh,
Man,
Oh, Michigan.
You're not my team. I don't care for it. You're dead to me.
No,
You're dead to me.
just put me behind it. Wait. See,
No.
Come on, I got you. Even though I can't help you, but I got you.
What are the question marks?
they're like
Power
power-ups,
up.
like Mario power-ups.
Oh, okay.
mhm.
it's me.
Like bananas and crap, but they most of the time they don't help you. Most of the time they hurt you.
Alright.
Zero power. Let's go.
Oh, is the password the same as?
Yeah, but you won't be able to get in until after
No, I
this
know, but
game.
for the next,
Yeah.
for the next
Mhm.
I have
Yep.
it already. So.
Hurting the girls now.
Hmm?
I'm just not doing a good job here.
Faster.
Mhm. Out of those power-ups, I think the honey is the most useful thing because it'll stop you like the brakes.
Why am I
watching splits go all over the place. Or splits.
I was pretty big.
I know. I was big and a cube.
Present, yeah. Present, you was a good time.
I'm on the other team, and I'm screwing up. Not on purpose, because girl power.
Michigan. Get it together, man.
Mark.
No, why all the
I
heat?
still got a double.
Jump. There you go. Alright, just take it slow and steady and just jump straight across. There you go.
Now you can do it. Here's how you go.
No.
I actually fucked our team up a little bit. I apologize.
No, you're
Still
fine.
6 points ahead. I don't want to hear
You're
it.
human. No, I just messed us up. By doing whatever the hell that was.
Got him. Now. Get your ass up here.
No, don't go down the hill.
No.
Ah.
Hamster.
Why was it that hard?
Would be useful.
I know, right?
Useful right now.
I would use that all the time. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
for
lie.
I can't believe.
I would.
Can't believe that we missed it to that many games. Oh, Michigan.
I would always have it on.
You're another team. I got 7 strokes. You know what that means? Nothing.
Means that we have one hole to catch up. All hole into one.
Yeah. Girl power. Let's go. Sisterhood.
Oh,
Rebel.
messed up already.
My balls just got fit flying.
Your ball.
Yes, I have a singular ball.
Put it on there, Neil, or not Neil. Who's the bicycle Armstrong?
Neil.
It is
Oh.
Neil.
The guy that cheated a little bit. Yeah,
Right.
That guy.
He's the one who got the ball.
No.
No, a couple of folks that only have one ball.
Sometimes.
If you put him in jail, it makes
No, bye.
What the hell?
I'm a big ball.
Sorry.
What is happening?
I am using up all my turns because every time I go to move, that thing gets.
I'm a shuriken.
What is happening to me?
Somebody keeps hitting space
Somebody
bar.
explain to me.
No, I'm not gonna move until it stops because it's
I just turned into a fuck.
It took me 13 strokes, but I finally got there.
It took me 9,
Right.
so I'm not helping.
No!
Interesting. That phrase is helpful for
Still stroking.
nothing.
Do it up. Still stroke.
I had to do 12 strokes because of that. I call shenanigans.
Or
Fuck.
did I say 13? I can't remember now.
I ran out of
I
shots.
think he said 13.
Okay.
Good.
Poke.
That's my brother.
I don't think we're in first anymore.
Yeah, 13.
Rip.
It's also my birthday.
Oh,
And
we are.
I'll
Oh my gosh. We both got 13 that round, guys. We were both equally terrible. Go teams and guys and girls.
Didn't I say that we should all get a hole in one? Like, that's the opposite of the hole in one.
You guys suck.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go to
I
bed
do.
though, guys.
Wait.
You guys suck.
Yes, I do. Wait a
Can I
minute.
Yes, you can join. I'm switching to speed golf though. Alright, have a good night.
Have a good
Collisions
night.
enabled.
It was
Good
fun.
night, Momo. Okay. Collision is enabled. We're doing speed golf again. There are no teams. Thank you, Momo.
And I am going to go and hang out with
Okay.
somebody else. So,
Bye, Prince. Catch you later.
good night, everybody. Love you.
Good night.
Bye.
No, no.
Well, let me. Oh, here we go. Wait, it's not the same password.
It's over in the text channel. So I'm starting black, so it's easier for me to do.
Oh, that's a good idea. Start with black and then do the color.
Yeah, it's really thin. I absolutely love this brand of black that is a mineral.
Where's everybody at? There you go.
Sorry,
Are you all abandoned ship?
Looks like Spuns is sleeping.
I'm here.
Uh-huh. Just resting your eyes?
And anyways, I did leave just because I want a little bit of break. I get too competitive and then I start getting weird.
Let's go.
The draft round will take.
We're just waiting on Wiggles to come back.
Yeah, just need a break.
Then we'll go.
I could just live my goth life.
Play around a graph, it'll be dry, and then you can add color if you want. Or you can add color tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyways, cheers everybody though. That has.
I still have to do my right hand.
Cheers.
We got Dr. Splints over here.
I have to leave. Gotta go.
The doctor's in the house.
Splints, yeah, you do you.
Oh no, gotta go.
This will probably be my last game though too.
Yeah. Well, I left with the sisterhood, so we won.
Well, when everybody starts leaving, then I'm done.
I know the thing is I'm at that point where I'm trying to win for the
Let's
team, and
see.
I put all my effort into that.
I always miss out.
What?
I always miss out on the fun.
I know, man. You should have been here 2 hours ago. Dang it, poor Joffrey.
I don't last.
He's probably at work.
Yeah, I don't last that long. Yeah.
Okay,
time different. It's the time.
I walked in on the wrong part of
It
the
is. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, we're talking about libraries.
Libraries.
and Bibles, right? Libraries and Bibles.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Wiggles' favorite things. What are you talking about?
But yeah, it's up to everybody.
Ta-da.
I just know the team.
Team of the thieves. Oh.
We're going down.
Are you panicking? Is everything okay?
No. They're wet. My nails.
She's gonna have a hard time. Just saying.
That's what.
She's gonna have a hard time doing speed golf with wet nails.
What's speed golf? Just go as fast as you can.
Yeah.
It sucks. It made me
how
sweat.
I
Pretty
honestly
much.
think that we should just do the forest again and just see how fast
Okay.
we can just run.
We can do that.
We run through it so fast, you know.
Is it timed? Like you have to be
Yeah.
in a certain time?
It's not.
It's
first
who's
one
the
in hole,
fastest.
it's the fastest in the hole.
No, it is.
It's like you can go as many.
The first one, but
You can hit the ball as many times as you want, though, to get there. As long as you're like first.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Not how many strokes.
Well,
First one in
no,
the hole.
the strokes still count. So you want to still have fewer
There is a
strokes.
bouncer, I think.
I don't know how it
You want to
works.
have fewer strokes and also be the
I
first
just
one on the
go.
wall.
Spencer, you taking that?
Just go fast.
He-
Go fast.
He's being a dad and
Y'all are
resting his
crazy.
eyes.
Uh-huh.
Alright, Splints, get your speed on. It's time.
Let's go.
Speed on.
All right.
Ready, set, go. Oh, wait a minute. No, wait. I was supposed to change which game thing. Hold on. Maybe it'll let me.
Yeah.
Forest. Okay. Huh.
And your big screen too.
Yeah. Okay. Ready? Set. You know you wanted me to leave it on Big Bono, right, Turtle?
Yeah. I can see
Right?
it here.
Right, Michigan?
I can see
Yeah.
it here.
Right. Ready?
Turtle definitely
Set.
first big
Go.
moment. Turtles, you're okay, baby.
I don't know. He said something. He was helping me out, so. The forest. Speed golf
Alright,
mode engaged.
Brakes is S. Brakes is S.
Yes. Use all the brakes. May the force be with you.
And me, I didn't get in again.
Nice
Let's
egg.
go.
I say that every
Let's go, meow.
Extra balls there, huh?
I can
Oh.
share. I have a 5. So
Oh my
You
god.
got
I played
5 of them. Oh my gosh. Oh, 5 stream.
it gives me 450.
Michigan,
That's
you
why.
gotta get good.
Yep.
Fine, I don't have 50 more.
Ready, set, go.
It gave me 450 points, so that's what I have to.
Oh no, I have updated.
No!
Oh!
I didn't even hit
You
speed
Oh, I overshot it.
Asshole.
I got knocked out.
Oh!
Yeah.
I was last. Dude. That moved me down out of first place. I don't know where I went that far.
3
Fucked
seconds.
up.
Less than 2 seconds. How about that? Less than 2 seconds.
I'm gonna take all the seconds. 13. Huh? Oh yeah, S. I forgot again. I forgot to use the S.
Slow and low goes the tempo.
Oh no!
You bastard!
Got excited because y'all
Big Mono confirmed slowest. Yes, Shaggy. Did your poop? It's like sticking up under the edge of the thing. I don't know how I done that on my screen, but all I see is the eyes.
Me too.
Stick it up like this, like it's lurking over the bar, the text chat bar. I am the slowest, apparently. It's like fourth place with a hole in one. I know.
5, 4, 8, 5, 6, 5.
Speed golf is fun, Shocky. There's also air brakes.
I'm still in last. Fuck you all.
Fastest lap where everybody's just really fast.
There it is. It's not hidden anymore.
Oh, I hate this one.
Oh.
Why the brakes are great.
Yeah, I used the brakes on that one. I wasn't sure where I was gonna end up. I might have actually got a hole in one if I hadn't used the brakes, but I wasn't risking it.
I was a little off. I wasn't gonna.
Maybe the brakes.
Hit
S S S.
Yeah.
Speed racing has brakes, and they're amazing.
A little power up will speed you up.
Really?
Oh, like way too much.
All in one.
Like shot me out of the park.
Yeah. I just used my brakes on that.
Oh,
Look how fast we're moving through holes. That's crazy.
No.
yeah.
Easier.
Let up cat ears. I can't do that.
You have to do it right now.
I can't do it on a 3 count. No, I didn't get the swoosh.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I forget I can do it.
138. You see that?
And I forget when you're rolling away, you can do the.
Also, Jaffron, your time was my birthday.
Really?
Yeah, 313.
Oh, was it? I thought it was 3.
That's my brother's birthday. He's 313. I'm 328.
There you go, wish I could.
I was
Lot of
supposed to be
beers.
328.
I managed to make it
Dude,
happen.
look at that. 138. 138. That's insanity.
Ladies in the
I
lead.
was literally supposed to be 328, but I ended up being 313.
February was better.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
I'm still. I'm
I hit the
Aw.
wrong button.
Hole in one. Yes.
And did you hit the brake at the edge of the hole, Ray? That's what I saw.
I did.
So instead of going in.
Someone smashed me out of the
Oh,
cart.
I hit it like on the edge of like curve.
Oh, I just realized there's only one here that goes. The other one's not.
Yeah.
Come on,
Oh my
Slime
God,
Tears
oh
is going on.
I don't know.
What is happening?
I don't know how I did that.
Dick.
Oh no, fart. Oops. No, I don't have that command.
Don't. You don't have that command.
Burning people.
Stop it.
There you go. All the noises.
Ah,
Look at this time, so. Those times are ridiculous.
Oh, cheers, everybody. Love y'all.
Here.
Cheers.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Couldn't fucking be asked to be in a better spot today. Fucking awesome.
Yes. Let's go. I forgot brakes exist. Brakes are awesome. I braked over the holes so I wouldn't go over top of it.
That's awesome.
Because I had too much speed and I knew I was going to run right across the hole, so I braked on the hole. Forced my ball to fall in.
Clinton and I got the same time on that.
Somebody
No
fucked me
more,
up.
no more pole bouncing me around. No more bouncing off other people's balls. I'm gonna like go in the hole.
No. No. Oh my god, I missed it 3 fucking times. Oh, from 3 into the way.
That was 4th in. Dang, y'all were fast.
You might want to do one more game after this.
I could do that.
That's very shocking.
Shocky, do you want to join us one game?
I don't get this whole
Y'all fucking with me.
This ain't even real life, man.
I'm just gonna cheat this.
I've never used this way. That way.
Uh,
Like 10 seconds ago.
Natu has been caught back in again.
Oh no.
Thanks.
You-
You kind of stopped
What?
me.
Jesus was there?
Splits, come on, Splits.
Fuck that one up. I made it bad.
I don't need an invitation to play, Shocky. I'm already playing.
Funny, I'm watching him and I'm catching myself pressing the handbrake.
I know. I did that too a minute ago. I pushed S for Jaffron. I was pushing S on the queue. Stop!
Right? I know.
Stop the roll. Push S. Shocky, have you ever done speed golf?
I'm glad he added golf at the end.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Don't clip that in the wrong place. Right? Nope, it's fun. It's fun.
What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing?
I don't think he knows.
I don't think he's alive.
Where are you going?
This is his nervous system doing it. His nervous system is doing it. He's actually sleeping.
I don't think he's awake.
Slow down. Just a little light. Stop.
Go toward the blue thing.
Trust me, I do the same thing when I sleep. No, he's sleeping, and like that's a very good skill. I can't.
It's a time thing. I didn't even know they go that high.
It's because of times,
Not like number of strokes. Yeah. So you can't stroke out. You have to wait for the time to run out. Nope.
Alright, catching up.
I did not do that properly. Boo is sleeping, so I most likely will not join Discord. That's okay. Still have fun. I'm just gonna play one game anyway.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty much.
Dun. Oh no! Oh, I forgot I could push S. Dang it! I would have been right by the hole. Yeah.
It seems like
Yeah, just one more game, cause we're all getting tired.
Yeah, we're just probably gonna just chill.
Speak for yourself. I'm ready to go play some golf.
I'm gonna play some real golf because
I wish I had your energy, and I slept all day. And I'm still tired.
I worked a graveyard shift last night, and I was supposed to work one today, but I fucked over.
Oh no.
higher ups.
Everyone is getting tired. Yes, it's 6. Are you gonna play next round? Speed golf.
I blame text anyway, so it's not good.
I took meds late, so I have to stay up till 2. Oh no.
S.
You're playing once human?
Why are you jumping?
What about once a cat? Let's see. Once was a cat. Let's see. S. I'm hitting S on the keyboard for splits.
Splints
Well, yeah.
Splints is on his own life journey in the forest. He's gonna have a tent out there. It's gonna be great. Lovely. No, like I'm buying myself a tent. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. Well, mine will probably be a truck camper, so it's
I
not
don't like
gonna be
sleeping on the ground anymore.
Well, we don't sleep on the ground, dude. We have solar panels. Yeah, it's camping in a tent, but we camp nice.
Glamping.
No,
Like I said, I want
we don't have a
truck
machine. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
Most
Yeah.
likely, if you're out camping, you're not gonna be in the camper van.
That'll
be outhouse.
I'm in the hole.
We don't want to do
That was
the
quick.
luck.
Damn. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry.
There.
I'm watching her. So it's a little delayed.
S stops, yes. Stops the ball from rolling. When you're playing speed golf, S stops the ball from rolling.
Handbrake.
S on the keyboard. Yeah, it's your
Damn,
got you some air brakes there.
Damn, Wiggles.
but I
Man, you're
still
fast.
won.
Nico, Nico, nee. Nico, Nico, nee.
The girls are the fastest.
Nice one.
I know.
Hi, Nadia. Thank you for playing. Get some sleep.
Okay, now you can join Shocky.
Sage.
This is fun. This is fun.
Yeah. I'm at that level right now. Just I see a beer. I'm like, ooh, beer.
Did Spark mean to disconnect and not turn off his camera?
He does it in stages. He usually turns off his camera and hangs out first.
Yeah, he's just doing his
thing.
He's good.
Anyways, Vince is one of the nicest guys in the world. So
Wiggles!
Sorry. I got
The star. Thank you.
Shocky's taking forever.
I'm not like a.
Oh, Shocky doesn't know the password. Hold on.
I gave it to him already.
Oh, did you? Okay. You DM'd him in Discord? Okay. He probably stepped away, don't
How
he?
you doing, homie?
I'm alright, how are you?
Good, buddy.
Yeah, I worked a graveyard shift last night. And then I came home and slept for like 4 hours and went back to the hall and tried to get a job and I got skipped.
yeah, because you know how that.
No, they were hungry for guys. They were saying they were short people. They had to drop a bunch of jobs, and I was waiting there. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, sorry, we accidentally missed you." And
Accidentally missed you. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I want money too, right?
It wasn't just me; it was 2 other people that got skipped.
Dude, I've been going to the office.
Which map do you guys want?
You can't do
It's
anything.
union.
It's union.
It's
You can't
rank.
do anything. Yeah, you can't do shit.
No, get your voice heard, regardless of anything.
Doesn't
not
matter.
like-
It's union. Your voice don't matter. It's
Yeah.
rank. It's rank. It's rank. It's like military. It's rank.
No, the thing is get your voice out there. That's it. I know it's rank. I know for a fact that he has to go to a board and do all stuff. I'm not gonna get into it because he's still streaming.
So you know how I had the eggs on my head before? I can't find them again, and everything's locked for some reason.
Weird.
Like I
Should be
changed
under
it 'cause of my dog.
customizations. You should be able to change it to anything.
Everything's locked.
It's not locked.
Really
Yeah.
weird.
Is it because I added this?
Mm-mm. No, you shouldn't lose access to your stuff you had access to.
Yeah, it's weird.
Unless you sell it.
Oh no! I fucking left.
Hello?
I'm sorry. I'm back. I'll come back.
Okay. Last round of the night. The Shocky. Shocky took a roll. Maybe I'm going till late at
That was
night.
an accident.
God
That was an
damn.
accident.
Alright, y'all ready for some speed? Alright, S makes you stop. And the goal is to get to the hole fastest. It doesn't matter how many times you swing the ball. Or the club. Let's get it. We're in deep trouble.
Oh god, I've never seen this before.
Oh, I hate this one.
But you can use
I've never
S
seen it
and
before.
stop. And the fish can't
don't
push
know
you
what to do.
around.
Can y'all advise me like what to do?
Sure.
Go to the left. Like right there it is. This one's easy. It's just right there.
Really?
Lady was fast.
Wait, give me that. Give me that.
This one's right up the hill. Shocky was first. Dang. Good job, Japan. He bounced to keep it alive.
Heavy. What happened?
I don't know.
Just fucking hit.
You're all over the place.
Oh. Oh.
Y'all just kept hitting each other over and over.
Good fight, good fight, good fight.
I tried.
Oh my god.
I messed up and I messed up twice and I still got in there first. I don't even know how. Don't forget you can use S, guys.
I guess I should.
If you're not using it.
Spin it around. Yeah.
And you can use S as you're like trying to go past the hole to stop yourself from going past the hole.
I literally just did that.
Yeah, and fall back down in. No! 4 wiggles. No, no, no! Not that far. You have the right idea, but not that far. There you go. Not bad, not bad. I'm sorry it's a track you're not familiar
30
with.
seconds. Not bad. Y'all got it there like 6. Terrible.
Well, we're used to, like, it not being based on time, too, when we say not bad.
But anyways, guys, I'm gonna bounce
No! I messed up.
that too. But anyways, I'm bouncing.
0-2, Jeff.
See you, Michigan.
Ugh.
Is it?
Bye!
I love that we were
I'll do
just
this
like
game as well.
0
Yeah, that-
seconds.
I know. I
before
literally
Jeff.
landed like right in the hole.
Hook catch if you're catching Pokemons!
I gotta do that. I haven't done the Pokemon. Oh, I'm.
I...
Oh, come on. Really?
Oh, yeah. Used S right on the hole to fall in. That was cool. Oh yeah, and the warp thingy, the speed thingies are fun too, Shaggy. I'm sure you just figured that out.
Oh, way too fucking many.
5.7 seconds.
I did terrible on this one. Fuck.
No!
No.
Damn it! I was trying to beat you. I wasn't going for the wall. I was trying to knock you out. No bullshit. Sorry. I'm losing. losing. Nah, it don't matter. I'm taking Rick's
No, no, you're gonna take people with you. $8.9.
Oh, that handbrake is great.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Go it goes. Break. There you go. You're like, stop rolling already. Break and get in the hole.
I've lost it. I've never seen this course before, though.
No, yeah.
I always forget about that little crack you gotta go through.
I just felt like we played all the main ones, so I tried doing something else.
Ah, fuck.
Why? Yeah, right there with me.
Ugh, I
Why?
hate this. Let's see.
Yes,
23 seconds? Mm. I feel like everybody else was probably already in.
I was not.
There you are.
Still wasn't last though.
There was Jaffron that was right behind me.
Got cocky. You just have a losing streak.
Hey,
Ugh.
what is happening? Where am I?
Going the wrong way.
Hit the blue thing. Or no, yeah, you are going the wrong way, dang it.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
Artist! Hello, Artist!
Oh, time to end stream.
It's time to end stream. Artist is here! Literally, as we're playing the last game of the night.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I forgot I could hit S.
Hole in one in 8.2, not 8.96.
Ugh! Stop rolling down the hill! The dang fish! What's happening? I'm stuck in a loop! The dang fish! I got stuck on the thing going up the hill and rolling down, and up the hill and rolling, getting shot up the hill, and then rolling down.
Fuck. So did I.
Shocky's doing the same thing. There he is.
There you go, Shocky.
I slept so hard and long for my nap. It's fine, LOL. Naps are amazing. Just telling me yesterday,
My favorite thing.
I napped till late. Till probably about this time or something last night.
Oh, sorry, Jeff.
No! Shocky! I think he was after me. Just saying.
Probably.
Smashed by the lady.
Look, I'm just trying to beat them.
I don't remember this. Oh, not like that. Hi, lady! We did the same thing. We're both like, all the eats. No, don't come back down the hill. Oh.
What is happening?
Your own. You gotta shoot through that cannon.
Whoops. I forgot to stop before.
He was plotting against me.
How was that 53 seconds? It seems like it's like 10 seconds.
It does. It feels like it.
Because we're trying so hard.
Yeah.
There's no way it was a true 53 seconds. I get it. There's no way it was a full minute.
Oh. Okay, I need a little bit more power with that.
Oh, that's so nice. Kept me from going like off into the ozone. I want the S button all the time. Liz, you had the right idea, but a little bit too much heat there. I've never done that.
I can't make it that way.
He did. S for the win. Yes.
Yeah.
I want it all the time.
Yeah, it's a definitely a nice feature. It's a game changer for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's even more fun trying to like compete and see who can do it the quickest anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They should, like, even like in like groups like this, they should have it like best time.
Mm-hmm.
You know how in marbles they have the ghost ball?
Yeah.
Right.
Or have it like, come on, I got a what? I got a 134 or something, right?
Right, yeah.
You're in a better position now, Jeffron.
I've seen some twos,
Oop.
some threes. That's
Just go up and over the wall. There you go. Oh no!
Do it, Catherine. Got this.
Hit S when you land. Oh, didn't work. I didn't know if it would stop a bounce. Is that? How many more rounds you got? I don't know, Zach. Every time we go to end, somebody else wants to play.
Literally.
I could really target Momo. Do you want to play one speed round with us, Zach? Not die. Absolutely not. Okay. Okay. You can hang out though if you want. You're more than welcome. We're about done. Yeah, we're speed rounding here. This is a speed golf, and S is your break, and it's pretty fun.
Oh, I fucked it up.
Don't go that way, Wiggles.
I fucked it up so bad.
I definitely don't think I'm in the lead anymore. I've messed it up too much myself. Maybe. I don't know. One more? Okay.
No.
I mean, he only got to play one. We could do Forest real quick.
I guess.
You got Forest in you again. Yeah, you got Forest in you. Everybody's got that one. We could do Forest.
What's up, bitch?
That was way too much. Oh, that S. There was no rolling past where I needed to go. See? Look at that, Wiggles.
Fuck. Yeah, it definitely gives you some mercy if you overhit it a little bit.
Alright. Welcome, Zach.
Hello there.
Let's see.
Wiggles, I saw you shoot yourself off the back of the track.
Don't judge me.
I'm not.
I'm trying to figure out where I'm going here. Oh.
Oh, not enough.
This is the hard one. It's not gonna matter. I'm gonna line myself up a little better. And then do this. There we go.
You guys.
Where's the thing at? That way, right? Yeah. Shocking, you're in the way. Oh no. Davron, you got it. Stop right there. S. Now go through the nose hole. Oh, a little,
no.
just a tiny bit more, whatever you just did. There you go. And then stop S, and the things to your left. You gotta jump over that wall. There you go. That S is such a lifesaver. Just like... Who knew?
Yeah, it's a game, yeah, for sure.
Brain almost caught back up. Look at that. Almost. Alright, forest, and then we're done. Forest. Okay. Who's in for a round of forest?
Okay. Can I get a
No
refill?
way!
Can I get a refill, please?
Yeah, go. Yeah. Zach, you sure you don't want to play one round of speed golf?
I'm here.
You're here.
Yeah, I got my
You're
eggs back.
here, but you don't. This doesn't mean you want to play.
Yeah, I'll play around a forest.
Sweet.
For some reason, this
Sweet.
time it's letting me have my eggs back.
I don't know what's going on. Davron.
What's the we were saying
It's
password
in
or
the
is it in Discord?
the chat top right chat box up here above our heads,
Lowercase.
all lowercase.
It's a pain in the ass. Sometimes you gotta click it a few times and it'll time out. But
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just so that password timed out.
I need a drink too.
you gotta try again.
That or you can
Time to get
join
faster.
from Wiggles or join
Let's
from
go
one of
faster.
us. You can join from one of us from
I
Steam
don't
too.
know why it does that.
Okay,
That's a silly thing. Like if the password times out. Like it's,
Yeah.
I don't get why they do that.
I don't know.
Yeah, Zach, I got my T-shirt.
That's
Isn't
fucking
that
crazy.
hilarious? The day after, I was like,
The day after you were like, it's a lost cause.
yeah, like just don't even bother. I don't care
Don't
anymore.
mention it.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
I wasn't even mad. Like I don't even care.
Oh, back.
I don't want
Truth,
him to be bothered.
or is it? I did not target Mono. Truth
I live
or not?
for bothering
You did. Oh, that was weird.
I just hope that he doesn't think that because you're bothering him, I'm bothering you, or you know.
Cheers.
That's all.
I'll have it.
Doesn't bother me either way.
All right, stretch.
Well, either way, it's here.
Exercise your fingers.
Sweet.
Thank you for your efforts.
Okay. The S key is your brakes. They come in really handy. Once you get comfortable hitting S, you're gonna hit S 500 times. The ultimate goal is just to be the first in the hole. And it doesn't matter how many times you have to hit the ball.
There's no breaks in this game.
On speed golf, there is. S.
What? Oh, we're actually doing speed golf. Okay.
Yes, it's actually speed golf, and it's amazing with the S because you cannot roll past any hole. You can stop yourself from rolling down a hill. You can stop yourself from running into stuff by hitting S, and it's great. And then the goal is just to be the first one in the hole. It doesn't matter how many times you hit the ball.
Do you always play with collision mode enabled?
Yes.
Yeah, that's makes it fun, don't you?
Collision and jump always.
That's the best.
I would have brakes almost always, I think, if it was allowed, because I love it. It's fun. Only speed has brakes that we found out.
Because there's a few times I got smashed out of onto a different
Oh
course.
yeah.
It does.
That's part of the game. It
It's
happens.
part of you're like, "Ah," but it's part of it, yeah. You know what's
Dude,
gonna
I
happen.
tried,
Part of the chaos, right?
Yeah, because if it's
well, I
not
tried
chaotic,
fucking
then it gets
aiming for
boring.
Rain. I tried aiming for Rain. Like, I
Mhm.
wanted to hit her.
Yeah, and occasionally aiming for somebody is
What a
cool.
jerk.
It's just like if you
I'm
like
not
constantly.
Sorry.
No, yeah, if you constantly aim for people all the time, then it gets
Yeah.
old. But if you occasionally do it, it's fun. You know.
Have you met Lady Rain?
Yeah, this is back.
All right, you guys ready? Let's
You
go.
guys,
Ready?
how much around the stack hangs out? God.
Gosh.
Ready? Ready? Set.
Probably hang out with the stack more than the rest of you guys at this point.
Wow.
Just on my Discord.
What? I was just saying that you can be.
Somebody doesn't know me very well. Okay, so there's breaks.
Yes. You can break right over top of the hole and keep your ball from rolling past the hole.
Man, I knocked somebody in.
Oh, and there's a timer too. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
So does
you
it go
wanna be
based
the
off of
fastest in the
stroke
hole.
and time?
No,
No,
just speed.
Oh,
Just
just
speed.
time. Oh.
So if you're first, then you only
First
get
to
one
the
point.
hole gets 1 point, and so on.
Oh.
Thank you all for letting me do it.
This should have been explained to me.
Nah, that's fine.
Ah! That hit me.
Oh, maybe
no.
you should get good.
You fucked, ho.
Are you
I'm
sure
literally
he's gonna want to hang out with you now?
never played this game before, okay?
Means we're gonna talk English shit, Zach. Come on
Says
now.
the one who plays golf all the time.
This is way different.
How's that different?
There we go. I'll take that.
Bobby. Oh, damn it, Bobby.
Pretty! They look so good! Love it. Painting black underneath was a good idea.
Yeah, it makes them darker.
Oh no.
You messed up.
Oh, no.
Thank you. Whoever knocked me in, thank you. Mona, look at our time. You
I
gotta look at our
know.
time. 0.01. 0.01.
Jeff on me and you suck at this. Get in there.
It was not that fast this
By a
time.
lot. By a second
You
and a
won
half.
by a lot, too.
Tied with Rain.
Oh, you fuck.
Somebody hit me. Bastards.
No, stop.
Wiggles! Wiggles, stop wiggling. That's what you call it. He's just wiggling around.
Nice
It's
job,
not.
Brad.
It's not.
I was just trying not to be last.
He's just wiggling
One
around.
seconds on that one.
Full panic shit. Hey, listen to your
Four.
peanut gallery.
Still not. Where's Stellar Waldo?
What are these things on the side here?
Speed things.
Oh. Perfect. Oh.
Fuck. All of you get fucked. By a lot. I'm sorry. I mean that with love.
I was right behind you.
I didn't know
Well, no,
Wiggles
I
was so
guess I
fast.
wasn't. Dang, sexy. All the Wiggles. Brr.
Wiggles is just
Brr.
awesome.
Wiggles goes brr. Oh, can't believe I missed the hole.
Two, twice.
I tried to play S, but I hit W.
That's what she said.
Moving up. I'm moving up in the world.
You hit me.
Moving on up.
nothing. Oh,
God, I full yeeted on that.
I think we all got jumped on that one.
Oh man, I got knocked
I'm
out.
like next to last.
I got
that's-
knocked in.
I was last. That
I
sucks.
Thank you, Jaffron.
6 points. Dang it. I had quite the lead there. Then I went to 6 points. That really stinks.
Come on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god. I fought.
I had that one. And Kimono knocked me out of it.
I've never heard somebody get so salty over golf before. Unless they're being directly attacked.
Dude,
But
honestly,
we're...
this course is freaking amazing for this.
It's because everybody knows it so well. Oh no!
Yeah.
So...
Nailed it.
Oh,
Eat it, nerds.
I messed up so bad. Yeah, I messed up too bad. I had to restart twice. No!
That's
3
the
times!
The speed golf with the collision is
It's fun,
rough.
dude.
It's
Yeah.
It's rough though.
Yeah, just forget it. I know I'm last. I don't care. She's gonna cry.
Don't worry, I'll still be last.
Does that give me the lead?
Yes.
It does.
Wait.
Oh no,
wait,
no,
not
no.
yet. Not-
He's in the lead.
It does.
It does.
Nice.
Alright, we gotta put it. Whatever you do, you gotta put a stop to this.
Okay.
Never let you lead it down.
I'm back in first.
I don't know. I was the first one in.
I was second one in.
No.
No. Not even close. You're second
Oh,
last.
I was fifth. I was fifth. Hey now.
Oh, no. That tight.
No! I hate this thing! No!
Asshole.
No!
Damn, Jaffron, you almost made it on top of that tower.
I know!
I would have loved to have seen you get on top of that tower. I've never seen you.
No way, lol. I think every hand and shoulder muscle is like tight at this point doing these speed rounds.
Oh, what hit me?
You get the thing in the air. There's one of those speed traps in the air.
Yeah, I got knocked out of the course.
Damn it.
Oh, did y'all run into each
Wait,
other in
brakes too
midair?
hard. Oh, it was from the speed things, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mono was a bad word. It is. It is a bad word in golf. You can't say mono in golf. Not in text chat anyway. In golf chat.
Oh, who knocked me off? Bastards. Oh no.
Oh, I did not want to do that.
I hit all over the place and I still made it in. Let go! What are you doing? He's sleeping.
You fuck.
He's sleeping.
Dude, I knocked him and then he knocked me.
No, I saw.
Dick. That was fantastic.
Go, no! Why? I got slowed down behind somebody.
Damn it.
Oh, come on.
Jump wiggles. At least you can hit us.
Stop rolling.
Oh, you're on a ramp.
Yeah, you gotta get down the hill first.
Oh, shit. I wanna...
Oh, wiggles.
Hey, hold hold my beer and watch this.
For the bee.
Blame others? Yep. Definitely blame others is the easy way to do it.
Go to the top of the bee and roll down.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, I know. It's my first time playing this, so I don't know how to do it.
Just easy round. Make up 4 points in 2 holes.
4 drink in.
2.25 seconds.
4.45 hole in one. Jesus.
2.25.
Hole in ones don't matter.
Fuck, I was the last one to be. Ah, damn. Oh. Fine.
One more. It's the infinite log.
Okay, so I need to get first, and I need Mono to get last.
Please don't sabotage me.
Oh, I fucked it up.
Oh, I forgot to jump. There we go.
I'm last.
Ah.
Somebody knock Mono off the track.
No. I still got third. I didn't get first, so you might still win. Or Rain might win, actually.
Yeah, you were 5 points ahead of me. I needed you to get last.
Ah.
No, instead of Shocky getting last, because he sucks.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's okay, he knows I love him.
Woohoo! Anybody get 6? Oh, Shocky won! He got 69.
Oh.
He won! Yep, automatic win. Congrats, Shocky.
I unlocked the Dino Egg Nest lava.
Nice.
Awesome. So now you get dino eggs. GG. Yep. Alright. That's officially the last one. We've been saying that for like the last 4 rounds.
I'm gonna get up and take the doggo out.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the last one because you won.
No. You're welcome, Shocky. Thanks for playing with. But and good luck walking the doggo. But yeah, thank you all.
Streamer mentality, if I've ever heard one. I won the game, so it's over.
I've been trying to make it over. They all know. They've been here, and everybody keeps coming in, and we're like, "Oh, I want to play." I'm like, okay, one more. Want to play? Okay, one more. You guys aren't taking up for me.
You don't have to stream it. We can
Pickles is like, I want to keep going.
Dude, it's Friday.
I know. I'm the wimp.
Tomorrow we're going to. There is a. Hold on. I have to tell you what the exact name is. It is incredible, but it's basically battle of the best taco.
Oh. I didn't. I thought you were ending. Artist caught me.
Yes.
I didn't. Ooh. Battle of tacos?
Yeah.
I kind of want to.
Sounds yummy.
It's
Sounds
called
super
the
yummy.
Taco Takedown.
I kind of want to go run around on Daisy Experimental.
Ooh, that does sound fucking tempting too.
I mean, y'all can.
I do have to take Oscar out as well, though.
Do it.
Ball throwing in.
I'm gonna go.
I'm trying to figure out if I want to do stuff or if I just want to like hang out here and chitter chatter. I don't know if I want to do too much thinking right now.
Right, meow.
Really think that much in Daisy.
Yeah, Daisy is.
Yes, you do. And
No.
Experimental, you do.
I'm gonna raid
Full
somebody. That's what I'm
Daisy
gonna do.
is
I'm gonna raid somebody.
Raid?
Yes.
Who we raiding? Who we going in?
Rocks. Rocks in my dryer. He came by and said hi today. Rocks in my dryer. Here, I'll put it in chat. I can't certainly artwork. I need tomorrow. Oof. Alright, we caught it, artist. We caught it. Alright, we're gonna raid rocks if you guys want to click on that link. And get ahead of the game. Raid.
Just so you know, Wiggles, there's 2 servers, experimental, the day 1 servers. There's like nobody in them.
Rocks is also in Canada, by the way.
Trinaris is 6 out of 80. Livonia is 1 out of 70.
No, nobody wants to play Livonia.
Did you Did you know that, Joffrey?
Pardon me, sorry?
Rox is also in Canada.
I said nobody wants to play
Oh,
Livonia.
really? Cool. Yeah, I'll check out.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna do a raid. Say goodnight to everybody. Say goodnight to chat. Thank you everybody for liking and listening. Thank you for being here tonight. If you want to join me in on this raid, copy pasta, we're gonna go raid Rocks and say hi. It might help if I actually type it in. There we go. Night night. Thank you, artist. Thank you for being here, Lord King. I appreciate it. I'll take care. Good night, everyone. Copy pasta. We want cookies or riot. If you got it. There you go. There you go. Thank you again. Turtle. Let's see if that thing worked on the screen. It doesn't. I need to make it where the credits work on the screen too. Alright. Good night, all. Goodbye.